yeah. StreamYard has let me know that I'm live, which means now I need YouTube to let you know that I'm live. And then we can begin whatever this is. Oh, looky. YouTube has just sent out the notification to all of Vibe Nation. So now everybody knows that we are live. Woo! We already got people out there. Y'all been waiting. I mean, I scheduled this stream like 5-6 hours ago. And when I scheduled the stream like hours ago, there were already people in the chat like in anticipation, which is kind of crazy because I like the stream wasn't even meant to go live for another like 5-6 hours, but y'all were already in the chat, which is kind of nutty. But we're gonna go. Look, we already got so this is weird. So YouTube says I have 11 people watching. StreamYard says I have 18 people watching. Now YouTube says I have 28 people watching. Okay. Oh, now they both say 28. So now they're matching. Okay. So now we got 28 people in here. Damn, that was kind of quick. But you know what? But be honest with you all, I don't really know what to do tonight. I don't really know what to talk to you all about tonight. So we about to wing this mofo like a mofo. But we go get into it right now because we got 28 people watching and it's time for your boy. Actually, no, we got 32 people watching. It's time for your boy to go to work. So let's do what we got to do. Let's see how tonight goes because I have no clue. I literally have no clue tonight. So current time, 6:29 p.m. Central Standard Time, which means you are in the right place. You are on the right YouTube channel, baby. Woo! And for those of y'all that are Friday Night Vibe veterans, you know what's about to happen next. But for those of y'all that are new here, let me give you a quick disclaimer of what you should do right now. Right now. That's right. Not later, not in the past, right now. So, for those of y'all that are new here, this is the part of the live stream where I'm going to need you to turn your volume down. Because if you don't turn your volume down, I cannot be held liable for what your neighbors think about you listening to some loud dude on YouTube. Because that will exactly all the way 100% be on you, not on me. That's going to be on you, not on me. Now, that we got that disclaimer out of the way. And hopefully you turn your volume down, especially if you're listening on headphones. If you're listening on headphones, you should really turn your volume down. But now that we got the disclaimer out of the way, let's go ahead and let's see what the hell tonight takes us because I have no damn clue. All right. No, on some days you're just not really like, some days you're just not feeling it, but you still got to go out there and do what you got to do anyway. It's one of those nights for you, boy. This is one of those nights. Let's go to work. What's up, people? This your boy Viper, the man about tech, and we are live! Welcome to Friday Night Fight, baby! Woo! Oh, yeah! It is that day again! We are back! We are live on YouTube! Woo! Damn! Okay. Whatever reservation I had about the live stream just completely went away. We are in the building. Let's go to work. So before I get started, let me see who I got in the chat tonight. First on the list, Alex Jackson, the Apple jockey himself. What's up, bro? How you doing? We got Gabriel T. Black in the building. What's up, bro? How you doing? The man who's doing the challenge with me, Mr. Tech Grant. I'll explain what's happening in a minute. What's up, Tech Grant? How you doing? We got Theodore out there too. What's up, bro? How you doing? And of course, my head enforcer, Genosis is in the cut. What's up, bro? How you doing? We got Io and Gino in the building. What's up, bro? We got Miles Tech. What's up, homie? How you doing? We got AJVNY. What's up, bro? How you doing? Alan Osborne is here. What's up, Alan? How you doing? We got Jose Guzman. What's up, bro? We got Jeff Hale too. What's up, bro? How you doing? And we got My homie from the UK, Marvin Wallace is here. What's up, bro? How you doing? And we got Kevin is so awesome. What's up? How you doing, Kevin? And of course, my head of security, El Jefe Review. What's up, Jeff? How you doing? And we got Robert Madewell. What's up, Rob? How you doing? Khalil Mashir is here too. What's up, Khalil? Team BRY is in the cut. What's up, bro? How you doing? My dude 504 is here. What's up, bro? How you doing? Josh Quinones is here too. What's up, man? How you doing? WL Wesley Jr. too. What's up, bro? How you doing? And we got Charlie Trains and Buses UK. What's up, bro? Who else we got? Oh, we got Matt McCourt too. What's up, Matt? How you doing? And Retailer Tech, this dude is everywhere. What's up, man? How you doing? We got Jamie Monroe. What's up, Jamie? How you doing? And we got my man John Michelle. What's up, John? How you doing? And we got Rafi Quadri. What's up, Rafi? How you doing, man? And we got Inquisitive Blitz. Hey, Miss Blitz, how you doing? And Joseph Hardison is here too. What's up, bro? How you doing? Who else we got? Oh, wait. Let me make sure I didn't miss anybody. Let me go back up. Oh, whoa. Oh, here we go. Keep going. Oh, Top Tech Geek is here too. What's up, bro? Woo! And Digital Slang is here too. What's up, bro? How you doing? Okay, let me keep going. Make sure I didn't miss nobody. J O is here too. What's up, J O? How you doing? And my Norwegian sensation, LBA is here. What's up, bro? How you doing? And Gwendolyn G. What's up, Gwendolyn? How you doing? All right, let me see anybody else in the building. Let me see if I missed anybody. Oh, we got Ethnic out there too. What's up, bro? How you doing? And we got, who else? We got Gino. And that's, oh, no. We got Dwayne Mims. What's up, Dwayne? How you doing? And I think I caught everybody. Oh, no. I just got to wait for StreamYard to catch up with my flow. Because once StreamYard catches up with my flow, I can do the rest of these roll calls. Come on, StreamYard. There we go. Mr. 100K himself, Paul Peck Drywall is here. What's up, bro? How you doing? We got Ramsey87. What's up, bro? How you doing? And Simply Beth is here too. What's up, Beth? How you doing? All right, there we go. The roll call has been completed, and we in the building. Oh, yes. Woo! Oh, man. What is going on? I don't know what's happening. Oh, my goodness. Woo! Man. So, as I said before, I did all that intro stuff. I don't really know what to talk to y'all about tonight. I really don't know. I mean, all right, actually, you know what? Let me talk about the challenge first. So, first up, oh, wait, we got more incoming. We got her. She's late, but she's still great. Tech Loving Mama is here. Oh, hit the wrong button, but Tech Loving Mama is here. What's up, Tech? And Fit Blonde Fitness is who? What's up? How you doing? And Sneaky Pete being sneaky late, but he's here. What's up, bro? How you doing? So, the title of the live stream is Welcome to LIVEtember. Now, for those of y'all that pay any attention to me on a regular basis, you already know what's going on. But for those of y'all that only come here on Friday nights, let me explain what's happening this month. So, this month in September, which has 30 days in it, every day this month, I, the man about tech, the captain of Team Apple, Viper, I am live streaming on this channel every single day this month. That's from September 1 to September 30. You will get a live stream from me. We are on day 4. If you don't believe me, go back and check out the channel. I've done a live stream every day this month. I plan on going another 26 days after tonight. But that's right, baby. We're live streaming every single day on Vibe Live because it's September and your boy is trying to raise some funds. Your boy is trying to see if I can complete the challenge. So there's a lot of things going on. What's happening here? But let me tell you, we are going live every day this month. We are in the building. So that's what's happening. And that's why the live stream is titled Welcome to LIVEtember, because we're going live every day this month. Now, this will probably be the single most challenging undertaking I have ever undertaken on YouTube, but I am up for the challenge. Like I said, I didn't really know what's going on tonight. I mean, woo! If I didn't know, if I don't know. Like I said, I don't know, but I'm going to figure it out because that's what you do. Sometimes you're not at your best. Sometimes you don't know what's going on. Sometimes you don't have a plan. You don't always have a plan in life, but you got to go out there and live life anyway. Even when you don't have a plan, That's what I'm doing tonight. I don't have a plan. I don't know what to talk to y'all about. I really don't know. Nothing popped off at me tonight, but I will figure it out as the live stream goes along, and that's what's going on. But I think the first thing I'm going to do and talk about something that just came to my attention on Twitter here is not really tech related, but I don't really care because it's my live stream and I can do what I want. So, for those of y'all that watch wrestling, WWE in particular, there's something that's going on with the WWE right now that is not really friendly to the talent in the WWE. So, if you're not familiar with how this works, all the wrestlers in WWE are what are classified as independent contractors, which means they are not employed by WWE because WWE doesn't actually employ their wrestlers. They are independent contractors. Much like me being on YouTube, I am classified as an independent contractor by YouTube because I'm not technically employed by YouTube. Even though I put out content on the platform, I am an independent contractor, which means I can do whatever I want on or off the platform. I can do whatever I want off the platform because I'm not employed by YouTube. I'm not bound to YouTube. So if I want to go have a Twitch account, which I do, I can do that. If I want to go on Twitter and tweet, I can do that. If I want to do this new thing they got out there called Cameo, I can do that because I am not legally bound to YouTube since I'm not employed by YouTube. But anybody that knows the WWE and knows how Vincent Kennedy McMahon runs his ship, you know that Vince McMahon has lost his damn mind. He lost it a long time ago. So basically, Vince McMahon, who is the CEO of WWE, has put out an edict today. He says that since their talent in the organization that have been using third-party services like Twitch and Cameo, they've been getting in trouble. They have been using their names and likenesses, they're conducting themselves in ways that are detrimental to WWE. So what Vincent Kennedy McMahon has put out as an edict today is that these independent talents are no longer allowed to use these third-party entities like Twitch or Cameo. Now, I just told you all that technically, legally, they are not employed by WWE. Vince McMahon doesn't employ these people. Again, they are independent contractors. So practically, they can do whatever they want. But according to the world of Vincent Kennedy McMahon, they can no longer use third-party services like Twitch or Cameo because some of them are acting out of pocket and conducting themselves in ways detrimental to WWE. Now, to this, I say, this is not legal. It's literally illegal to conduct his business like this because, again, they are independent contractors. They are not employed by WWE. You cannot control what an independent contractor does outside of your company unless that's written in their contract somewhere. And I think there might be some type of language that might be written in the contract to that effect. But by and large, overall, Vince McMahon cannot do this. Now, the issue is that WWE is such a massive global entity, and these people make so much money with WWE that more than likely none of the top names are going to challenge this because, again, WWE is to them, WWE is what YouTube is to me. YouTube is my biggest platform. It's where most of my audience is. And basically, you don't want to bite off the hand that feeds you, you know. WWE gives them access to like millions of fans all over the world. So they don't want to do anything that's going to put them in a bad light with WWE. But again, these actions by the CEO of WWE are kind of illegal because, again, you're not employing these people. They are independent contractors. How can you tell an independent contractor what to do outside of your brand? Like, it doesn't work that way. Now, I don't know if any of them are going to actually challenge this and take it to court. I'm assuming if they did, they would win because WWE has no leg to stand on here at all. But I just find it egregious and asinine and just, that Vince McMahon would actually put this edict into place, trying to control. He is literally trying to control these people. Like, what? Who the hell are you? What are you, their daddy? What are you doing? These are grown ass adults. You can't tell grown people what to do when you're not employing them. How does that work? That doesn't work. Get all choked up. It doesn't work this way, Vincent. You can't do this. This is crazy to me. Oh, man. No, Janosis, I think some of them might be doing that. But according to Andrew Edwards says that Vincent is not allowing them to use their real names or their real likeness on third-party apps. So Vince is saying you can't do anything on third-party apps if you are under a contract or whatever with WWE, which is pathetic and crazy to me. So again, this is interesting to me because obviously none of the top names are going to challenge this because they're top people in the company. They're making thousands of millions of dollars. They're not going to challenge this. They're gonna walk with Vince because Vince brought them to the dance. But if any of I guess in the lesson, God gets hold on, your boy's having trouble tonight. All right. But this can be served as a lesson to my fellow creators out here. If you're doing YouTube or you're big on another platform, whatever the case may be, make sure you look at your contract that you're signing. Don't let no brand or no platform take ownership over you and your content, okay? Just because you have 1 million subscribers on YouTube doesn't mean that YouTube should be allowed to lock you down if they're not employing you. If you are an independent contractor on any platform, you have to make sure that you own your content, you own your rights. Don't let a brand take ownership of you because that limits what you can do across the entire creative spectrum. So some of these wrestlers in the WWE are in a hard spot right now because they signed that contract with WWE and they might not be able to fight this, and they're in so deep with WWE and they have that stardom and that fame and that money that they might not be able to retort Vince about these rules and regulations. But for all you other creators out there that are thinking about becoming a public figure or a creator on a platform and you're thinking about making it big, please make sure that you don't wrap yourself up with a platform. I mean, I know we have exclusivity deals out there for like people like Dr. It used to be Dr. Disrespect before he got kicked out of Twitch. I know Ninja signed one with a Mixer and things like that. I mean, if you do that, if you want to make the money and things like that, that's cool. But if you're just starting out, if you're on your way up, but you're not quite there yet, you would have a much better chance just being available on all the platforms instead of limiting yourself to one platform. So just try to be careful about how these brands and corporations try to manipulate you and your audience for their gain to lock you down. Because if you don't pay attention to what's going on, they can really lock you down and put you in a bad situation like Vince is doing with these wrestlers. Because again, they can't do anything on any third-party entity outside of WWE. And I'm almost positive that he probably has it in their contract somewhere to a certain extent. But there's only so much he could do with that. Because again, they are independent contractors. You don't really have that much control over independent contractors. I mean, they're independent contractors. That's the whole definition of being an independent contractor. You do what you want. But again, WWE has the leverage in this situation. So I don't know if anybody's going to challenge it, but this goes as a lesson to all content creators who are doing this full time, trying to come up in the world. Just be careful about who you let control you and things like that. Just make sure you give yourself the maximum amount of outlet possible in your creative journeys, man. Because, bruh, this is some crazy stuff going on. But one of the other cool things about being a content creator on YouTube, though, when I come out here and I tell you guys that I don't know what the hell I'm going to do tonight, and people see that like, yo, Viper says he don't know what the hell is going on. People hit me up in the DM. They're like, yo, Viper, if you need some backup, I got you. So because I have no idea what the hell I actually been going tonight, I got backup. So let's bring in some backup in the form of my man, Renee Richie. Whoa, what is happening with your camera, Renee? What's happening over there?
Hey, is it bad? Is it terrible?
It is pixelated bad. Yeah. Are you on Wi-Fi or are you plugged in?
No, I'm pushing a C500 through an Atom Mini, but I don't know why it's pixelating because one's 4K and one's 1080p.
Wait, so which one is 4K and which one's 1080p?
Well, the camera is sending out 4K, but the Atom Mini is converting it to 1080p.
Maybe you might want to convert the camera settings to 1080p then.
You know what? I'm just gonna default back to another camera.
or have a backup camera. That's right. There you go.
Let's see.
Oh, I've never seen Renee look pixelated. What is happening here?
That?
Oh, there you go. Hey, that worked
better. I'm trying to get the big camera to work on the screen. That was my whole experiment, and it's pixelating. I don't know why.
Yeah, like I said, it might be something where you have to change that camera setting to 1080p if you're outputting via HDMI or something.
I'm just afraid I'll forget, and then I'll record a whole video at 1080p.
Right. Yeah, I understand. How are you doing tonight, sir?
Good, man. How are you doing? It's good to see you.
And good to see you too. Like I said, I don't really have a plan tonight, so I appreciate you hopping on and trying to co-drive me through whatever the hell we're going to happen tonight. I have no idea.
No, these are always fun. This is the best stream in the business, man.
And I appreciate you. So I guess while I have you here, we could talk about something I've been talking about a lot recently on Twitter, and I even made a video about this. Getting my voice back here. But there are a lot of like new Apple leakers popping up out of nowhere. And it's funny that you, in one of your recent videos, you like showed like the tier of Apple leakers and where they rank according to Apple Tracks and things like that. But I love the way you like reorganized it because it was kind of out of whack, but you kind of reorganized it throughout your video. So I'm curious to get your thoughts, Renee. What do you think about all these leakers coming out of nowhere with no track record, but they swear they got Apple leaks and they want people to listen to them and all this other jazz?
So, well, thank you. I totally stole that from Tirzu. If people aren't familiar, Tirzu is a huge YouTube channel where he's brilliant. He's a zoologist or a biologist. I forget exactly, but he's a scientist, and he teaches people about animals, but in video game terms. Like when the meteor struck and rebalanced the server, the meta changed, and the dinosaur builds were deprecated, but the mammal builds, and it's just hilarious. And he does tier rankings for like S tiers, like a human, because it kills everything. You know, it's like. It's hilarious. So I figured what would be funnier than tier listing leakers, because I think a lot of times people report on this stuff, like you said, and you don't know what their track record is. And I remember in the early days of blogging, we would get leaks, and they were like someone from AT&T or someone from T-Mobile or someone from Rogers or Bell, or someone connected to the company. And then after a while, you'd start to get people blogging the stuff themselves because they decide, like, why should I give the blogger the fame, right? I should get the fame. So they would blog it and say, can you link to me? And then it was like, oh, it's going to make a YouTube video. Like the whole industry kept changing. And now everything's on Twitter. And to your point, you have people who have proven track records. Like Mark Gurman's been in this game for a long time. And you have the people at 9to5Mac and Mac Rumors who dig through the code and can show their work. They can prove what they found. They have the assets. And you have people like John Prosser who just like, this is the date. Yep, that's the date. But anybody can make a Twitter account, and there's so many Twitter accounts that say tech analyst /leaker now, and there's no tech analysis or leaks in them. I think it's just a way to get attention. And I hate, like, I was looking at some reputable blogs, and they're blogging stuff from someone who has zero Twitter like history. They just put up something that sounds sensational. They're like, oh, Twitter leaker. No, that's not a leaker.
Oh. It's funny. I think over about it was about a year ago. Ben Getkin had came out with something, and John Prosser like had questioned it. Him Prosser made like a whole part of his video or part of an episode of Front Page Tech about how people tech websites are running with what Ben Getkin had put out there without like vetting them and checking the track record and things like that. And John Prosser was like, he was disputing whatever it was Ben Getkin was putting out there as faking or whatever. Or I think it was something to the effect that Ben Getkin wasn't given the proper credit to whatever it is that he was unveiling. So again, it is funny that you got all these leakers out here that are leaking information, and like you said, some of these tech publications will take it and run with it without even doing the research to make sure it's valid, and it's ridiculous, really.
Yeah, well, like Ben is a concept designer. He draws what he wants to see. He doesn't draw what Apple's going to make. He's like, I heard there's 4 cameras. Wouldn't it look awesome if it'd be like this? And they're like, oh, iPhone render leak. Like, no, he clearly said. And the other thing that drives me crazy is people take stuff from like Instagram or Reddit and they just post it for clout. And then people assume they're the source and it's a leak. And it's like, no, some kid drew this for fun and posted it on Reddit 2 days ago. now this other person who has /leaker in their Twitter profile just reposted it, and you went with that as just like, that's not journalism. That's not how this works.
No, that's not how this works. But I think that's where it's kind of funny, because you would think that a known tech publication would know better. I mean, but like you said, they take this information, they run with it without doing the research to make sure that the information is valid. And then when the information ends up coming out true, they're looking kind of crazy with egg in their face because they didn't do the research.
I don't think they care. Like I remember it distinctly. There was a point where they stopped caring, and they're just like, this gives us a news cycle, and then if it's wrong, we get to say it's wrong, and it gives us another news cycle, and nobody remembers. So that they're not. It's like this. The problem with our world in general is there's no accountability. Like when we were younger, if you screwed up once, that was it for you. Like Tylenol with the poisoning, that almost destroyed the company. Or like a bunch of politicians had had a half lie about something, and that was the end of their careers. It's like, or they were seen with the wrong woman, and that was the end of their careers. Yep. And now people can just do anything over and over again. like the Galaxy Note 7. I'm not saying, you know, that was company ending, but back in the day, that would have brought a company to their knees. And we had people going, I'm not returning it. You know, it's like they have such a high brand affinity and such a short attention span.
Yep.
And the blogs just want hits. Like, just like you, and I'm not saying YouTube's any better, but everyone just wants hits. So they go with whatever they think people will click on. And I think that's fine, but just give context. And the one thing that really irks me is that they'll do that with Prosser. Like they'll go out of their way to show like anytime he makes a mistake on anything.
Yeah.
But they don't do that equally. And I remember when I was leaking, like a long time ago, like this was like 2012 was when I was like really into it. And if someone else who had good information, like John Pachowski from, I think he was at the Wall Street Journal back then, or Mark, we would all talk and they go, you know, I heard something different. I don't mean, you know, no disrespect, you know, you're doing awesome, but I got different information. I'm going to publish. I'm like, yeah, please publish it. You know, I just care about the accurate, and everyone was so respectful. And that's like just gone out the window. And now everyone is threatened by everybody else's clout. I think that just makes everybody worse, because if you're generous to people, it makes the industry stronger.
Yeah, it's that whole cloud thing is hilarious. Like,
sorry to rant.
I'm a creator, and sometimes I get frustrated that my main channel is not growing and things like that. But then I have to remind myself, you know what? It's not about growing as fast as you can. It's all about growing gradually and enjoying the journey and growing organically, because organic growth is a lot better than like explosive growth, especially if it comes off some type of a fluke or something. Then you have a lot of people that are following you maybe for the wrong reason, and then when they figure out that your content doesn't jive with what they were looking for, they're gonna go away anyway, and then you lose all that following. So
yeah, my channel died for 3 months 2 years ago because of that.
Yeah, I remember you talking about the whole creator on the rise thing that happened. Yeah, kind of weird.
Yeah. So anyways, that's one of my rants. I have a couple of rants tonight, Viper, but that's one of my main rants.
Oh, okay, all right. We will definitely let you rant. So it's interesting because I think my man Tech King Mike asked me one time, or asked me this week. He asked me, he said, Viper, have you ever thought about connecting with one of the Apple leakers to like get exclusive news and things like that for your channel? And I was telling him like, oh well, the main people that I mentioned in my video are pretty much spoken for. Obviously, Max Weinbach, he has a connection with everything Apple Pro. Prosser has his own YouTube channel, so he's not doing anything like that for me. And Mark Gurman is working with Blue Mar. He will never do anything like that because he's Mark Gurman. But I also made the point where I don't really want to do that, because at some point, no matter how good they are, they're going to be wrong. And when they're wrong, they're going to have all sorts of egg in their face. And I would just rather I'm kind of like you in that way. I'd rather just stand back and let them leak. And then if I feel like something is credible, then I'll do a video on it anyway, regardless of who they get the information to. But I don't know if I want to directly connect myself with a leaker, just because that gets a little messy. So I'm just going to stand back on that one.
No, I think you're smart. Like for me, it was too stressful in the end. That's why I stopped. Like I worried about it. And back then it was easier because like you only could have direct sources. There wasn't like this whole Twitterverse of people or Sino Weibo. Like you couldn't get stuff off. A lot of leakers are just getting stuff off, not like the big ones, but they're just getting stuff off the Chinese version of Twitter and reposting it. I mean, like there's a bunch of stuff today. And people have supply chain access they didn't have back then. And you could be wrong, or Apple could change. And if Apple changed something, you were still wrong. Like it didn't matter if they moved an event or they changed their plans. They just saw that you were wrong. And it was like I was up all night and I was like sweating. What if this isn't right? Like, do I dare hit publish on this? And also like the motivations, like three main things. One was, and I know John has said that the people who give him information are mostly enthusiasts. They just want to see the information shared. But I always worry about agenda. And I know a couple of times with some big leaks, they've badmouthed specific people who disagreed with them. And I always think, like, I don't ever want to be serving somebody else's internal political agenda. Like, they didn't like your version of the music interface, so you're going to leak it, just because you're angry at your boss. Like that never set well with me. And also these days, there are a lot of people bored at home with Xcode, and they can create anything they want. So like you've got to have like, and they want to clown people. Like they want to clown people who leak stuff. It's like I don't know, a weird 4chan for leakers or something. Yeah. So you got to be super careful, because it can look incredibly legit, and it's really just some really bored genius level, even internal people having like I don't know.
Yeah, there's a lot of people out there with bad intentions, so you definitely have to be careful about who you trust and what information you take seriously. And you got to make sure whatever information you get, you got to vet that information over and over and over, because you don't know who's trying to get at you. And like you said, you don't know what type of agenda these people have out there too.
Yeah, and like you can sometimes hear like people at Apple laughing. I'm like, again, like usually not the big people because they know how to check these things, but some of the smaller ones, and then you'll just hear the laughter coming from Apple Park, and you'll be like, oh man, blogs are blogging this, and everyone in Cupertino is just laughing.
Oh, I can imagine some of like the top level executives inside of the Facebook Cupertino laughing at some of these leaks. They're like, hey, they're way off.
Well, they don't care. Like a lot of like I know John does it for fun, but a lot of people really like sorry Tim. And I'm like, that's not a Tim's pay scale. That's like a Jaws and Phil Schiller's pay scale. Tim's worried about the next 8 billion in profit for that day.
Right.
He's not sweating the leaks. That's entirely Jaws and Phil
Right.
who are getting cranky with that.
Absolutely. So I have another question to ask you that was asked to me this week. And I'm definitely interested to get your take on it because you have been in this space. You used to work in this space and you would know better than I would. But someone asked me what are the most reputable tech publications out there, or the ones that I consume anyway. I said, even though they're not very reputable, I still like going to BGR because I like the layout of their website. You go to bgr.com, all of the top news is right there on the page. It's usually pretty current. I don't always trust them because sometimes they recycle articles and it's just, that's a whole other story for another day. But I like going to BGR anyway, even though I know that I go there at my own peril. I also like going to The Verge because even though we've had issues with The Verge as far as YouTube and creators and things like that, The Verge is still pretty good. Although I think their website is kind of convoluted when they did the redesign like over a year ago. Kind of I got all these colors and everything like all over the place and kind of convoluted, but I still like going there anyway. I also like going to 9 to 5 Mac and I like going to Mac Rumors to get my Apple news and things like that. But Renee, given that you used to work in the space, what are the most reputable tech publications in your opinion?
So I have to be careful because most of these people are my friends. So I have to be real careful.
Yes, you do.
So they all have their good and bad points. And I think they would admit them. Like The Verge tends to be really rock and roll about stuff. Like they'll put it up and they'll say like, why are people doing this? And what's going on here? And it can be really serious or it can be really innocuous and they don't really filter that. It's always like, what's going on? Like, you know, they're always like in their leather jackets and their collars up regardless of what the story is. And BGR, like Jonathan, I think would admit this, they have neon signs and blowhorns, you know, for every story. Every story is the most earth-shattering story in the world. So there's no way to filter. It's like, it's not quite Forbes Contributor Network. It's like better written than that, but the titles, like everything is just as.
Yeah.
Some of the people at 9 to 5 Mac are awesome, but I think they're hyper competitive, and I think sometimes that hurts them. I think Mac Rumors is usually my go-to just because, you know, they're not as flamboyant, but they're rock solid. They report the facts, they check the facts. The website's not flashy. It's not like, you know, their headlines aren't super sensational. It's just if I need a quick glimpse at what's going on, I go there. And then I think especially Stephen and Oliver at iMore have been doing really good work lately, like way better than I ever did. And they're finding a lot of interesting stuff. And they're British, so they're super sarcastic, and that makes me laugh all the time.
Yeah, I don't know how, but somehow I got on Steven's radar, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, he's a good guy, man.
Yeah, he's cool people. He's definitely cool people. Probably watching this live stream knowing him, but yeah, he's cool people. But yeah, you make interesting points. Like, you know, obviously you know better than I do the ins and outs because you know these people directly. But just from an outside looking in, like consuming their content, like I said, BGR gets on my nerves a lot because, like you said, good information, but the clickbaity title just drives me crazy. Like, dude, it's not that serious. Calm down. And the Verge is The Verge. We know The Verge.
Yeah, they're outraged a lot.
Yeah, 9 to 5 Mac is pretty good, but like you said, they can be a little competitive, especially when John leaks something and they don't agree with. They want to come out with an article to debunk him like 5 minutes. They don't like, dude, what are you doing? Like, stop.
Well, no, like, so the thing is, to me, is like there's a layer of professionalism, and again, a lot of people at 9 to 5 are super professional. But whether you like John or not, whether you like Mark Gurman or not, whether you like Seth or anybody at 9 to 5 or not, if someone reports something and you check it and it's factual, it's literally your job to the audience to package that and give it to them. If you don't like someone and they have news, you know, like a lot of people don't like Seth because he's a New York. I love Seth. I think he's hilarious. He's a brusque New Yorker, and that always makes me laugh. A lot of people don't like him, so for a while they wouldn't report on him, and I think that's dumb. And a lot of people don't like Prosser, you know, and I think they mistake his character for him, right? And they just think that he's, you know, flexing all the time. But doesn't matter what your personal opinion of someone is. You take their information, you vet it, and then you report it. That's literally the one job.
Exactly. That's how it should be. But sometimes they don't. They go out of the pocket, and it just gets on my nerves. But yeah, you're right. Like you said, it doesn't matter if you like John or not. You got to take what he says, vet it, and then if it's credible, then report on it. I mean, most of the time they report on it anyway, but yeah, you got to.
Or
Do your
Gurman
job.
too. Like some people were super upset that like a kid who couldn't even drive was getting all these stories for a while, and like, it doesn't matter. It's the story that matters.
Mark Gurman is amazing AF to me. I cannot believe he's been doing it since he was 14. Like that's bananas, man.
Yeah.
Like wow.
Yeah. I remember when he came to WWC and just got his driver's license, he was super excited.
That's so crazy to hear you say that, but like wow, wow.
But Max Weinbach's like that now, right? Like he's just going to college.
Right.
You know?
This dude's one of the most world famous niggas, and he's just going off to college.
And Boy Genius was like that too. Like before now, like he's the father and stuff. But back then, he was a kid with like awesome carrier connects. He would get like celebrities early phones, and so that they could boast about them. And I think I don't forget how young he was, but he was super young, which is why Engadget called him the Boy Genius.
Indeed, everybody has a story. No matter if you like them or hate them, we all have a story, man. And the stories are pretty interesting. You just gotta be willing to dig deep into them and figure them out and learn.
Yeah.
So, and you just told me that you have a couple of rants on your mind. So, what's on your mind, Renee?
The thing that really fascinated me this week was the whole YouTube controversy with Charlie and Markiplier, and how exactly it mirrors the App Store stuff. Okay, so if people aren't familiar,
I'm not familiar. What happened?
Yeah. So Charlie is a huge YouTuber. He uses Penguin 0Z or something on YouTube, and it's Critical and Moist on Twitch and a bunch of other stuff. But he used to be a game streamer, but now he just does like a lot of monologues. Totally deadpan. He makes up the most inventive curses I've ever heard. And he did a video where he was reacting to an old clip from 2014. It was obviously staged. It was a bunch of people in like video game costumes pretending to road rage and beat somebody up. And YouTube gave him a strike for the video, saying that it was showing graphic violence in the content. And so he disputed it, and he made a video going, I'm making this video. This is ridiculous. This has been out since 2014. Nobody's had a problem with it. There are people making actual like animal cruelty videos on YouTube, and I report them and you do nothing, but you're giving me a strike. And I'm going to say, and I disputed it, and I'm going to make this video because I know you're not going to care. And then he goes, and of course they didn't care. And he went on Twitter to Team YouTube, and they said they're upholding their decision. And he goes, I'm not ratting him out, but Markiplier did the same video as me a couple of years ago. He reacted to the same video in his Make Me Laugh video. You didn't do anything. And so Mark took it really well. And he's like, he quote tweeted it and said, yeah, where's my strike, Team YouTube? And so they gave him a strike. And I'm like,
what?
Holy wow. Like, you're going to double down on this. Like, he is one of the most popular, the most like audience friendly, like almost like a poster child for the people you want advertisers to be backing on YouTube. And you gave him a strike. And they both made these videos about how they're YouTube contacts, and they have major contacts. Like Charlie runs an agency. He has major contacts. They talk to them and they're like, we can't believe this, but we have no access to the review team. They work on their own. All we can do is email them. And they got an email back with just straight out of Apple App Review. It was exactly the same thing. Nobody knew who they were. Executives at YouTube didn't know how to contact them. And they were just doubling down. And so Mark made a video, and usually he does like gameplay, but he made a very serious video saying this is unacceptable. We're your community. You can't be doing this. You have to listen to us. You have to have a conversation with us. It's obviously like your whole community told you that this is BS and you're not listening. And then so Charlie made another video and he tagged Team YouTube, and they're like, okay, this is not a hill we're going to die on. We re-reviewed it and we found out it was fine. We're really sorry about this. We've removed the strikes. And it was just, and they both made videos saying like, you can't work like this. You've got to talk to creators. You've got to use the community. The community will report offensive videos. And it struck me how identical it was to developer complaints about the App Store, and how you become like dehumanized because you're just one of a million reports they're going through that day. So the same thing, like it was capricious and you can't count on it. And how can you make a video if you don't know someone in a cubicle is going to flag it after you did all your work? Like we saw that happen with Travis too. It's right. So it was amazing to me how YouTube video review and Apple App Review have exactly the same complaints.
But it all goes back to the same principle. Dude. We're talking about big corporations with so many entities inside of the corporation that a lot of times these entities don't talk to each other, and it just creates like undesirable situations because they don't talk to each other. And when you have something like this that happens, it becomes glaringly obvious that they don't talk to each other. Because something that should be so simple as a video with a strike that shouldn't be there should be some type of easy appeal process. But then like when you got like million subscriber channels that have like actual like contact within YouTube that can't even figure out what the hell going on.
Yeah.
That's a problem. That is a problem.
What are we supposed to do? Like they have probably
Right.
between them tens of millions of subscribers, but what are the rest of us going to do?
Mm-hmm. So TechRant is asking what happened to Travis. I'm not really sure. The only thing I know is that Travis made a video. He was trying to get it out there, but he said for whatever reason, it got blocked worldwide by YouTube.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't know if he ever got an explanation on why the video was blocked, but yeah, whatever video Travis was trying to upload got blocked by YouTube worldwide. So we don't
know what the rules are. Like they're like you put a second of music and you get a copyright strike, and there are channels of people listening to all these different music things and reacting to them. What are the rules?
Seriously, seriously. And it's funny that you parallel it to the App Store and how Apple runs the App Store. If you are going to have a set of guidelines, which YouTube does, you have to enforce them across the entire platform. You can't play favorites, because the moment you start playing favorites, you are opening that Pandora's box up to massive criticism from the entire platform. It's just, you can't do it.
You see that from developers too. Like they make an app and it gets rejected. And they're like, there's 8 versions of this app on the store already.
Yeah. And the big thing with Apple right now is Amazon, which is allowed to do rentals via Prime Video and not have to pay Apple a dime for them. But other developers that have in-app purchases obviously have to pay Apple 30% or 15% of its subscription thing. And developers looking at Apple like, well, how come Amazon gets the break but we don't? But it's just...
And Apple's like, oh, there's a Prime Video. There's a premium video class of apps that includes Amazon and Canal Plus in France. Like what?
Yeah.
And even Google, like the Google Play Store, they say you can use alternate payments for content that is available outside on multiple platforms. So like if you're Netflix and you can say like our content, you can sign up from anywhere, you can use alternate payments, but not games, because everybody knows that's where the money is.
Yeah.
But that's not a reason. That's like we can do it, so we're doing it.
Yeah, but as I've come back like for the past 2 weeks, unfortunately, even though it's not fair, you're playing on their platform. You're playing on Apple platform. You're playing on Google platform. So it's their platform, their rules. Even if the rules aren't fair, you agree to that when you signed the terms and conditions to host your app on that platform. So
what I'm curious about though is like, does this show us that they really don't invest enough in it, or is it just not possible? Like when you get to 2 million apps like Apple has, or I don't even know how many billions of videos YouTube has, is it simply just not possible to like, is it beyond human scale of manageable?
Yeah.
Like, are they doing it on purpose because it's their platform, or do they just like, oh crap, something else happened, what are we going to do?
I mean, to be fair to the platform, especially a platform like YouTube, which has like thousands and millions of creators with billions of videos and things like that, it is literally impossible for YouTube to enforce everything across the entire platform. It's just not possible. And the Apple App Store is probably so massive at this point that it's literally impossible for Apple to equally enforce their laws across the entire app platform. It's too big. It's just literally too big.
Yeah, there was an article 2 years ago or a year ago that said that every reviewer was responsible for 50 to 100 apps a day. And if you can just imagine that, like that's not manageable.
No, that's not manageable at all. But like we said, there's so many of them that it's literally impossible to have enough people to like review everything. Like it's just not possible.
Yeah, and the amount of video content, it's just
like exactly when you have like channels with like millions of subscribers who can't even get a straight answer about a strike on their channels, and you messed up. You know you were in issue creek when Big Boy can't even get fair review. Crazy.
So I think like what might help is just like I don't think they can fix the problem, but I think they can fix the communications, both Apple and Google and YouTube, is that when there is a problem, especially if it reaches like if it's being published in like The Verge and the Wall Street Journal and all these places, I think at that point, they don't want to back down because they don't want to admit liability. But I think if they had people like I don't want to say like an executive response team, which is what usually happens in smaller companies, but if they had like an App Store escalation team that whenever a fire flares up on the App Store or on YouTube, they're like, oh crap, we're being tweeted about by someone with 7 million followers. We're gonna go see what's wrong here.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure they do have something like that in place. I'm guessing. I mean, they'd be kind of crazy not to. But Gabriel asked a good question. He says, how do you accurately moderate billions of users' videos efficiently and effectively so, at least on YouTube? And I think part of the answer is already in place. At some point, the community literally has to police itself because the platform is not going to do it. The platform is not there. They don't have the manpower to enforce their policy. So at that point, the community of themselves, the community has to police each other. I mean, it's not really effective as far as making people do something. But then again, when the community gets pissed about something, and sometimes the creators don't have no choice but to respond, because if the community is mad at you, that could literally impact your livelihood. So in a way, community policing is kind of important, and it kind of is needed when you're talking about platforms with this much scale, because it can't go away until getting things to change if somebody's not doing things correctly. Because at the end of the day, we all rely on the community as far as the fellow creators and the audience and viewers and things like that. We are all part of this YouTube community, and sometimes we have to police what other creators are doing just to make sure they get the message.
Totally. And I think also, like, on the App Store, that would be great, because Apple still hasn't got a handle on like scam apps and like copycat apps and apps to try to trick you into getting a subscription for $60 a day. You know, and even in the top 100, you can find those sometimes, because like, I forget, David Barnard or somebody posts them when he finds them. But just getting rid of that would make it so, like, it would stop people getting annoyed so much.
Definitely. Shout out to my man Jeff Hill for the $19.99 super chat. Thank you, Jeff. I appreciate you. And as the ticker is saying below, you guys, super chats are open. We are in the middle, or we're not in the middle, but we are at the very beginning of LIVEtember. Your boy Viper is live streaming every day this month. Super chats are open, but not required. Anything that you're willing to contribute, greatly appreciated, but don't feel like you have to super chat. I'm just letting you guys know that the option is there should you choose to. So thank you. So Renee, this actually kind of flows nicely into something else that's happening, or something else I saw on Twitter today as it relates to YouTube and creators and things like that. And it's kind of funny because our Terry Warfield put out a tweet earlier about how when creators get together, he's tired of us talking about YouTube, and I completely agree. But some things need to be talked about, and this next thing we really have to talk about, because it affects us as creators, and we have to talk about it. So apparently there was a brand who reached out to a bunch of creators in an email about doing a brand deal or whatever, and a creator replied to all, which was the first mistake. But when they did a reply, they replied to everybody. But this creator, when he hit replied all, and I'm not gonna give out any names like that, but the creator replied all with, "Sure, I'll review your product or whatever. I'll talk about your product for $60, Renee." The creator replied, "I'll do it for $60." Now, for a creator starting out and things like that, okay, that's fine. But this particular creator in question has a subscriber base of 500,000 followers or subscribers, Renee. So when you have a creator with a massive audience of 500,000 telling a brand that they will be okay doing a video for $60, that is a problem. Not just for that creator, for all of us. It makes all of us look bad. It makes these brands feel like they can take advantage of all of us. And no. So, you know what? I'm glad I have the platform that I do, because I know a lot of bigger creators watching me, even if they don't let me know they watch me. I know you're watching. I know you're listening. So for all of you all that are out there watching, if you have over 100,000 subscribers or whatever the hell your subscriber count is, listen to me very closely. Even if you're like brand new to YouTube, don't you ever do a video for $60. Don't you ever do that. There is so much that we have to do to put out this content. And even a creator that's just getting started, fresh out the womb, breath smelling like Similac. Even if you're brand new, you're worth more than $60. Okay? You're worth more than $60. All right? Okay? You need to know your worth, because when you devalue yourself, you devalue all of us, and you make us all a brand. Because then you got a brand coming back, well, such and such have more followers for this amount, or such and such didn't do it for that amount. And we're like, what? And how is it our fault that they don't know what their worth is? So please, for the love of God, if you all are going to run a business on YouTube or whatever creative platform that you're on, if you're going to conduct yourself in such a way that you are going to run a business, can you please figure out how to figure out your worth so you don't make us all look bad? Renee, jump in, man.
Yeah, so I want to dissect this a little bit. So, I think I see Terry's point, but like when I get together with a bunch of Apple people, we just talk about Apple. It doesn't matter if they work there, if they're all big. It's a common thing that you can discuss. It's like common ground. But first, like when you work in marketing, and I worked in marketing for years, you never give people the opportunity to reply all. Everything goes in a mailing list or a BCC field, so nobody can possibly hit reply all. So that was like the first mistake, is rookie marcoms from the brand. The second thing is harder for me, because I saw Andrew Edwards talk about this too, and some other people jump on, where he's like, if you sell yourself too low, it makes it harder for everybody else. And he's really smart about YouTube business. People like him and Roberto, and And he says like they'll lie too and say, well, you know, Viper said he'd do it for $300. Why are you asking for $400? And then you'll text Viper and he'll go, I didn't say I'd do that. You know, so you have to be super cautious. But I do think it's hard to, and I didn't look up the creator, and I don't know if they're like, if they're in the US, you know, there's one market. If they're in, you know, other places around the world, that money goes much further. Like the amount of income in the country and what $60 means for them may be much more. 500 subscribers, you'd think that they'd have, you know, a lot more seasoning in the business, but you never know how somebody gets subscribers either. Like there are some remarkable channels with super high subscribers that make the same video over and over again, you know, and really don't seem that savvy about YouTube. So I don't want to judge anyone whose shoes I haven't walked in, but I think if you are like an established creator in a strong market, you've got to be careful because you're affecting everybody, but also your own future.
Yeah,
with those kind of deals.
And Roberto mentioned the same thing when I brought this to his attention. The creator is not from North America. I think he's from overseas. Okay. So maybe the value isn't what it is here that it is over there. But still, this is a general message for all of you all. Anybody that's listening to this or watching this live stream, know your worth, please, for our sake, for all of our sake, know your worth. So when we go back to these brands and tell them what our dollar amount is, we don't look like food because you don't know your worth. So I'm gonna need all of y'all to know your worth. For the love of YouTube, God, know your worth. Thank you very much. Know your worth. And
Quinn from Snazzy Labs had a really good point too, where he was talking about, you know, how much these deals go for, and it's on an open market. It's based on conversion, and just like in the old days, radio and TV personalities converted really well. Like there's a reason Howard Stern is rich off reading ads on the radio, because people wanted to like beyond the people buying the stuff, the brands wanted to hear Howard mention their name because they were also fans. Like there's almost nothing as valuable as someone who has an audience that resonates with them. And the reason like some people get deals like Marquez got, you know, with I think it was Buick, right, is because it's so valuable and converts so well. So if anything, like charge as much as you can, because it is so much more valuable than just a banner ad or an affiliate link or anything like that. It's not just you, it's your entire audience that's with you.
Yep. And not to mention YouTube videos live in perpetuity pretty much forever. They're not going anywhere. So you don't know when somebody's going to look at that video. That video is up there for pretty much ever. So know your worth. Shout out to Anthony Beltre for the super chat. Thank you, Anthony. He said, why is Apple still working on 120 hertz on iPhone 12 Pro? Because they have time. Well, they don't have much time, but they still have about a month or so to figure it out if they're going to do it or not. So obviously 120 hertz is a big feature of practically on all the latest Androids, and Apple's a little bit behind, but I mean, Apple's always behind on newer technology, but it's something that has been requested on iPhone for a few years now. So of course, Apple is working on it, but yeah, they're still working on it because I mean, they have a month before these iPhones go into production. So, I mean, actually in September now, so they're probably going into production this month. So yeah, it's a last minute thing. Will it have it? I don't know. I'm going to go probably not, just because it is so close to the wire, but they've been testing it for the entire year. So they're just doing their testing and completing their testing.
Yeah. And also, like, I think people forget that the Pros aren't just an enthusiast phone. Like some people assume that it's everybody on Twitter is a majority of one. Like everybody assumes that whatever they think is a majority opinion about everything. And nerds are the same way. They think like, you know, things that they like is what everybody likes. And I really want 120 hertz. I really, really want it, but I know I'm not the main market. And the iPhone XR and the iPhone 11 were the best-selling phones with quote unquote not even 1080p screens in 2018. But a lot of people aren't tech enthusiasts. They're, I don't know what to call them, luxury enthusiasts, and they will just say like, I want the best. Like they don't really care about the specs. They don't care about all the details. They're like, I want an iPhone. I want the best one. Just give me that. And someone will say it doesn't have a high refresh rate screen. They'll go, what? You know, so it's not going to make very much difference. Like I forget the market research. I looked into it, but it's not a high percentage of the market that's spec driven for Apple. It's a really small percentage. Like it's the opposite of Android in like India or some parts of Europe or China, where specs are everything. And I just think the device will be physically capable of it, but unless Apple can have it change refresh rates without you noticing, like without the white point changing, the color balance changing, without you seeing a discernible shift, they'll either make it a switch, which I think they'll hate. it'll be like having a notch. You know, they'll hate it, but they'll do it,
Right.
or they'll just leave it off until they can do it.
Yeah, and I think that since there's a special technology out there called LTPO that is meant for OLED displays as far as getting them a variable refresh rate. Apparently, Samsung, the Note 20 is the only device that's going to have that technology. So I think because Apple doesn't have access to that technology quite yet, I think they're going to pass on the 120 Hz refresh rate this year. But definitely next year, the iPhone will happen for sure. But this year, it's a long shot. But maybe we don't know.
Yeah,
we don't know. Paul Peck says YouTube is the video is the gift that keeps on giving for sponsored. Exactly, man. You got to know your worth out there. Please.
Well, you got to be careful because Andrew Edwards was posting about that too, where some brands were saying they could pull your video whenever they want, and he's like, "Nah, nope. You got to pay way more if you want that."
Yeah, and that goes into figuring out and knowing what exactly is in the contract, reading the contract, or having a lawyer present so a lawyer can read the contract, because you got to know what you're getting yourself into. Because you don't want a brand being able to take your video down. That's foolishness.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah.
So before I ask you this next question, you said you had a couple of rants. Do you have anything else to rant about?
No, I think those were the big two I wanted to rant about.
All right. Okay, gotcha. Cool. So, you just posted a tweet earlier this week. I think it was 5 months ago. You went independent. You're on your own. You're no longer affiliated with iMore per se. You have 120,000 subscribers. You made 100 something videos, or 91 videos, I think it was, something like that. 91 videos. Probably over a million some odd views. So tell us, Renee, about your experience being an independent creator.
Yeah, so I was really scared, I was a little scared when I first decided to do it. And then when the shutdown happened, I was really scared because I thought people would watch more video, but I thought the economic hit would be so bad that, it wouldn't matter how many people watched videos, and I was suddenly without a paycheck. So, I could ride for a while, but I just, you can't watch those numbers go down, forever. And also a lot of people have started YouTube channels, like huge celebrities. Some of them have done really well, and some of them have like 1,000 subscribers. Even though they have, hundreds of thousands, millions of Instagram followers or Twitter followers, and they say, watch my video. It's just, they just die on YouTube. So you never know what's going to happen. It can be merciless, and I didn't know. So I was really happy that I'm nowhere back to where I was before. I was going to say, I spent 10 years getting to where I was previously. Right. It was going to take me several years to get back there, but it ended up being not as bad as I thought. It was pretty good. I'm not talking about number of subscribers I got in, I'm just talking about me being able to make it at least sustainable after a few months. Yeah, so I was super happy about that.
No, man, you have done an amazing job. But I mean, I don't think anybody doubted Renee Ritchie. But to your point about celebrities making YouTube channels and not all of their followers converting over, Captain Marvel herself, Brie Larson, started a YouTube channel 2 months ago, and she still had to hit 1 million subscribers yet. Yeah. And we know she has millions of followers on Instagram and other platforms, but her YouTube count right now is 387,000. So she's not even at 500,000 yet. And she's been on.
But Jack Black did it in a day. I mean, you never know.
Right. Yeah, Jack Black did it in a day, but Brie Larson been on the platform 2 months and still had to hit 500,000 yet. So yeah, man. Yeah.
And there are some celebrities I've clicked on their Instagram stories, and it's like 10,000 subscribers, 5,000 subscribers. Yeah, and maybe they started as a vanity project, and they it's just because they think they have to have one, and maybe audiences can tell, they can tell it's not authentic, so they don't bother. But it's just you can never take anything for granted. Yeah, and to highlight this point, Brie Larson has 6.7 million Instagram followers. Yeah, and let me check her. I think her Twitter account is at 2 million. Let's check it out real quick. Brie Larson, where we at? Brie Larson. Oh no. Brie. So Brie Larson on Twitter has 2.2 million. So she has some 9 million subscribers or followers between Instagram and Twitter, but she can't even crack 500,000 on YouTube. I mean, YouTube is vicious, man. YouTube don't mess around. Yeah, no, and there are some hot male and female celebrities who do their workout video and it gets a few 100,000 hits, but then their next video is about their vlog going somewhere and it's got 3 views. You can never tell. And I think that's probably one of the big reasons why Brie Larson doesn't have at least 500,000 on YouTube yet. She's doing variety content now. Yeah. She's an A-list celebrity. At the end of the day, she doesn't care how much her YouTube channel grows. But this is a lesson to people that are starting YouTube channels.
no matter who you are, you cannot come on the platform in 2020 and do variety content and expect to grow. It's not going to work. Like people are too, like they're two creatures of habit. They want what they want. And if you try to deviate and do different things, they're going to reject that. And they're going to leave you. Like if they come to me for an Apple video and then next week I start doing Samsung videos, I'm going to lose subscribers. Like it's just what it is. If Renee starts doing Pixel videos, he's going to lose subscribers because they don't come to Renee for Pixel videos. They don't come to Viper for Samsung videos. They come to us for Apple content. If we're not making Apple content, we are going to lose people. And that goes with anybody on the platform. Doesn't matter if you are a big timer or a small timer. If you don't provide that consistent, like niche content, good luck.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you're a celebrity, there are people who will just watch you because they happen to be a fan of yours, but that's a very small percentage of what you, and to your point, like if somebody subscribes and they expect something and you give them something else, they're just not going to click on it. And YouTube will take that as a signal. And they're like, oh, people don't like, even subscribers don't like their content. And then they'll show it to less people. So, I mean, you can make anything you want on your YouTube channel, but if you want to grow, you've got to do things that are in your own best interest. But it's like a restaurant. If you have a favorite restaurant and you go there and you order your favorite meal, and like every day, like you'll keep going back to get that meal. But if you go there and it's like totally different every day, you're like, I don't want anything to like that's on today. I'm leaving.
It's so funny. So when I was growing up, Bob Evans used to be my favorite restaurant because I used to love their French toast. And to make their French toast, they use Texas toast. One day about, I think maybe 10, 15 years ago now, but one day I walked into Bob Evans to get the French toast that I love so much. And come to find out, they stopped using Texas toast. They use borscht bread or whatever. And I have been done with Bob Evans since I was done. I was like, what is this? This is not what I came here for. I was done. I'm telling y'all, man, people are creatures of habit, man. You change one little thing and that's it. It's over with.
Yeah. Like you can be like, you have some breathing room, if you do like a AirPods review and then you do like the Sony headphones review, maybe people will still be interested because one, they can use it with their Apple products. And also, maybe they really liked your AirPod. So it's not like you're in a straitjacket or anything. Like it's not a lane, it's a highway, but you can't change roads every 3 seconds or you lose people.
Yeah, sometimes I do comparison videos. Like recently I did the Pixel 4a versus the iPhone SE.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can do things like that. Like there's definitely some leeway, but like you said, there's not that much leeway. You still got to be on the road. You can't go off the road, otherwise, it's not gonna work.
Or you got to take the hit and just say, and I think they look at like Marquez is incredibly consistent, but there are some like Justine will bake a cake one day, or like Peter McKinnon will do a bunch of different stuff, and they'll say, well, they do it. Like, they got like 10 million subscribers. If 1% watches the video, it's successful.
Right. Yep. You are exactly right. You are exactly right. Woo! So I already said that I hate talking about YouTube the other creators. So let's get away from the YouTube stuff. I'm sorry. I know some of y'all probably hate it too.
Terry's so angry right now. Terry's so angry right now.
Sometimes we got to talk about things because, like I said, that thing that we talked about earlier affects all of us creators and people got to know. But we're done with the YouTube stuff. So let's move on from the YouTube stuff. So Renee, going back to what I was saying earlier about Apple leaker coming out of nowhere and things like that. So John Prosser has told us that next week, Apple is going to refresh their website with a new Apple Watch and a new iPad. Recently this week, some other league, I think called Love to Dream, has come out and said, no, there will be no new Apple Watch this week. So I'm curious to get your thoughts, Renee. Do you think we'll see a new Apple Watch next week, or do you think we'll see it in October?
So if John hadn't said anything, I would have assumed it'd be October because Apple has just always done the iPhone and the Apple Watch together. And usually because there's like some feature, not really feature parity, but it's like the Apple Watch is still the shuttle to Starship iPhone.
Right.
And I just would assume they'd keep doing that, and it's not that big a deal to say, oh, there's a new Apple Watch. Like it's a 5-minute segment. John is really, really good on dates though. Like I don't think he's been wrong about a single date yet. He didn't yell at Love to Dream or like, because I would have expected John to go like I would have known for sure, John, like I would have. This is where it's confusing because usually John will go, oh yeah, we'll see come next week, Oh,
he did. Well, he didn't do it to Love to Dream directly, but he did come out like, yeah, we'll see.
But he didn't say Apple Watch again. So like, and it's possible this stuff is still in flux because Apple can put anything out anytime they want. Like they can say, all right, we're doing Apple Watch now, or oh no, we're going to hold Apple Watch for October, or who cares? It's ready to go. So like, you never know. But my default is always that it comes out with the phone. But you can't bet against Prosser. So this one is up in the air for me.
I want to say that I kind of believe Prosser because There is a lot of new hardware that Apple is rumored to be releasing this fall. And I don't think you necessarily need the Apple Watch to launch alongside the iPhone, especially if you got AirPods Studio in your back pocket, especially if you got AirTags in your back pocket. And I think there might be a new HomePod, maybe. There's a lot of stuff that Apple is rumored to be releasing this year. So if you can move some stuff to a press release, I think an Apple Watch is something that you could definitely move to a press release, especially if it's an incremental upgrade from the Apple Watch 3.5, which many of us expect it to be. Then you could definitely move that to a press release. I don't think that's a big deal. So I'm apt to believe, John, just because of the sheer amount of hardware that Apple is rumored to be dropping this fall.
So I think that's true. The only thing that holds me back is that most people, like unlike the smartphone market, the Apple Watch market is nowhere near saturation. Like most people don't have one yet. And it's such a big holiday seller. I mean, who knows what's going to happen? 2020 is goofy, but it's usually such a big holiday seller that normally I'd expect it to be like an iPod. They just want to show off the new colors to gin up sales. Like they want to put it up on stage because a press release is sort of low key. Like we'll do videos, we'll write about it, we'll do those things, but it doesn't grab the public's attention and say, oh, that's what I want for Christmas, or that's what I want for the holidays the same way.
Yeah.
That's my only reservation about why they wouldn't give it stage time anyway.
Yeah,
the Apple Watch these days.
Like the Apple Watch is a big deal. The Apple Watch is massive. Yeah. I mean, Apple is practically dominating the wearable market right now because of the Apple Watch. So it's definitely major. But I don't know, we're gonna find out real quick because it's supposed to happen next week as far as the website. Even John put out another tweet. He put out another tweet earlier stating that Apple is supposed to be doing something with their website on the 8th. I forgot the time frame that he gave on Twitter, but he did tweet out something about Apple doing something with the website on the 8th. So we'll find out real quick if he's right or wrong. Definitely.
Yeah. But, and the other thing is, like, could it be Apple Silicon? Is that ready? Would they save that for the event? Would they want to get the Macs out of the way? Is it a different Mac, like another Intel Mac? There's just what makes sense to put in an event and what makes sense not to put in an event is my only question.
Now, see, here's the thing, though. Normally, if it's like Mac-related stuff, it has its own separate event from iPhone.
But in October.
Yeah, right. But since it's October and the fact that Apple's not really doing, we can't really do live events. So these events that Apple's doing now have to be done up and presented and pre-recorded and everything like that. It's a little different. I think it takes a little bit more time and effort for Apple to do these pre-recorded events as opposed to a live event. So there might not be enough time for them to do like 2 separate events this year. So they might have to aggregate everything into one event, which would be another reason why the Apple Watch and the iPad get pushed aside to a press release if Apple does plan on aggregating everything into one big event this year. So like I said, it's going to be interesting. We're coming up real quick on this stuff, so we'll find out.
Or they could bring Craig out to do what he does with the iOS stuff when he's going so fast. Hey, we got a new iPad, and we got a new Apple Watch, and we got a new iPhone, and like just 2 hours of constant like Craig raining Apple products.
Well, if they handled it how they handled WWDC, I don't think any of us are going to mind because that was a masterclass on how to present an event, man.
Yeah. Woo. Yeah, and Samsung finally watched it. That was so good.
Right. That Fold 2 event was lovely.
So much better.
So much better. Speaking of that, do you plan on getting your hands on a Fold 2?
You know, if I was still at iMore, I would just like make a strong case that the company should get me one so I can do comparisons. But since I'm not, and I'm living that indie life, and it's probably going to be an Apple expensive fall, I'm going to have to wait and see because like there's so many things from Apple, and I know like the meme is, oh, you guys just get given everything, but I buy an Apple Watch every year. I buy 1 or 2 iPhones every year. I'm probably going to buy an Apple Silicon Mac, and that adds up super fast.
Yeah. Oh God. If you're buying Apple stuff, oh God, yes. Oh yes. Yeah. It's not cheap.
Yeah.
All right. So let's pivot away from Apple a little bit. I can't remember if I talked to you about this particular situation, but I'll ask you anyway since I have you here. So today, Disney Plus released Mulan as a part of their premiere service. Not only do you have to have Disney, not only do you have to be subscribed to Disney Plus to watch Mulan today, but you have to pay an additional $30 on top of your Disney Plus subscription, which I think is like $7 a month. So you got to pay practically $37 a month, or $37 like for one time if you want to watch an Mulan today on Disney Plus. So I'm curious to get your thought from there on the way Disney Plus is handling this release of Mulan.
So I know there's a whole bunch of like Hong Kong protests going on around it too. So that's a totally separate issue for me. Like just putting it up on the service, I'm all for it because I usually go with a group of friends that we always go to the movies together, like the Avengers movies, the Star Wars movies, and it's like 7 or 8 of us, and it costs like over $100, like even with like with snacks and tickets. That's Canadian, so it's like $3 American, but whatever. It's still like $15 a ticket. So to me, I would pay like $100 to have access to same day. Like if they were to put Black Widow out and say like $100, you watch Black Widow, you have 48 hours. I'd be super fine with that because I don't want to go anywhere near a movie theater for at least another year.
I don't either. I feel you.
So if you have like a family, like I think it'd hurt if you were one person. If you're one person, I think it's not a good value. But if you have a family of like 4 or 5 people, I think that's an easy value. And I don't have to worry about someone kicking my chair. I don't have to worry about, kids crying or people yelling at the movie theater. Like it's just so much more. And yeah, the screen's not as big, the sound, whatever. It's fine. I would like the option at least. So I have no problem with it. And you get to keep it until you unsubscribe. So it's fine.
Yeah, pretty cool. Shout out to M. Jameslin for the $3.99 super chat. He said, "Hey Renee, can I join Apple Twitter group?"
I don't know what that means.
I don't know what that means either. But thank you, man. I appreciate the super chat. And Tech Rant said they better have Mulan and all the behind the scenes.
The behind the scenes of the cartoon. You press the button to play as a cartoon.
So speaking of big TVs, you got a big TV behind you. So what you got there behind you? What is that?
The LG C6. I think it's the Generation 6.
Oh, nice.
LG, you got to go LG OLED.
How big is it?
I think it's 60 something.
65? Nice.
Yeah. But it's like 3 years old now. It was like the second, third generation.
65-inch LG TVs are the way, baby. They're the way.
They are the best OLED. Like on the small screens, it's Samsung rules, but big screens are totally different technology. Like it's not anywhere the same. And LG is just doing the best panels in the business.
Yeah, LG makes the best OLED TV, definitely, no doubt about it. Absolutely. That's why I brought my LG T10, man, because gotta have LG. Got to.
Yeah, so, it's night and day. Like I rewatched all the Marvel and Star Wars movies from Disney Plus and HDR, and they look so good.
Ooh, yeah. So I don't know if you've been paying attention, but I binge watched the Chilling Adventures on Netflix this past week. It was good, very, very good.
Yeah. We talked about it. That one scene where she walks into and goes all daughter of Satan about it. That was just so good.
That was epic, man. That's a good show. I didn't expect it to be that good, but it was good. Now, have you watched the Boys on Amazon? Have you watched that?
I watched the first season.
Okay.
Yeah, I have. So Garth Ennis, who wrote the original comic, like that generation of writers were all about like we're gonna take apart everything you loved in your childhood and tell you how terrible it would be in the real world. And like I find that a little bit cynical and nihilistic. So I thought it was a really well done show, but it's not my favorite superhero property.
Yeah, I honestly didn't care for the first season, but I kind of want to watch the second season. I kind of want to see how it looked on my OG TV.
yeah, for sure.
But yeah, I didn't really care for the first season. It just kind of rubbed me the wrong way. I don't know. I just didn't really care for it. But we'll see what happens in the second season. I don't know.
Like I can look out my window and see a hot, flaming Sharknado garbage dump of a year. I don't need to see that on my TV too.
Right, exactly right. So, what technology this year are you looking forward to most that is not Apple? Like, what non-Apple products are you looking forward to getting your hands on for the rest of the year?
Yeah, I don't know about hands-on because again, like I'm going to be an Apple-starved person this fall, but I think in general, like all the game consoles coming out, I even was like, I was joking saying I was editing so much that I wasn't paying attention to the streams, and at one point, I'm like, did they just unfold a Galaxy Fold into an NVIDIA 3090? Like, what's happening on the TV right now? It's like and I'm waiting for the AMD cards, Navi 2, like the big Navi cards. It's all the rest of this garbage year aside, from like cameras and game and tech, it's been a really good year.
I'm really like surprised to see just how well tech has moved along in the middle of a global pandemic. Like these tech companies are like full speed ahead, man. It's crazy.
Yeah, and if you're watching like Gerald Undone or even like Marquez or somebody, it's like every week there's another all-star camera like Blackmagic 12K, the R5, the A7S III, the Komodo, the red Komodo, and now it's the Panasonic GH. I forget the number on it, but it's like every week another all-star camera, 2 new gaming consoles, right? NVIDIA cards, AMD cards. It's nuts.
A lot of stuff going on this year to end out the year. There's a lot of stuff going on, man.
Yeah,
a lot of stuff.
Techtober.
Seriously, like it's non-stop this year. It's literally non-stop. So going back to Apple, there's now reports coming out that only one iPhone is going to have the multi-millimeter wave 5G. But I would still argue that that has little to no importance right now because 5G is still in its infancy and nobody can even take advantage of it. But apparently this is news. I don't know why this is news, but it's news. Well, I don't know.
Yeah, so I don't care about that. But like, I would be bummed if the LiDAR camera was only on the bigger phone. Like maybe they need that for the space that it takes up. I don't know. But I like it when I don't have to choose based on camera. When I can just choose based on screen. I agree with you. Wave is not a consumer technology yet. And I think Verizon's going to regret going all in on it the way that Sprint regretted going all in on WiMAX. But I was impressed with T-Mobile. Was it yesterday, the day before, when they announced their FR1 frequency range 1 deployment? Because that is going to make a difference to people who've never really had good LTE. Because it'll be like 20% faster, but also, I forget, 40 to 80% better bandwidth. So it's going to, like, you might be able to get up to a gig on that. And that's going to be like, so like all the iPhones will support that. You don't need millimeter wave for that. I think that's going to be much more important than millimeter wave. And I also wonder if those millimeter wave radios is what's making these iPhones so big this year, because they've got to power them and they've got to house them. And it seems like they're doing it to make the US carriers happy. And that's never a good reason to do anything.
Well, I don't know about making the iPhone big, but it seems like it might factor into what Apple puts in the box of the iPhone this year, because we've been getting rumors all year that there's going to be no power brick, no earpods, and a lot of that people are surmising that because of the additional 5G and how that's going to add cost to manufacturing for Apple. So Apple's looking to cut those manufacturing costs. And apparently one of those cuts includes cutting off some of the battery layers, which might account for smaller batteries in this year's iPhone too. So yeah, this 5G might really come at a price for us Apple people this year. It's kind of rough.
Well, it's interesting. And Genosis is saying T-Mobile turned on 5G low band. I think I forget the hertz they're using for that, but yeah, and that to me is really exciting. I think that's the right kind. It still feels nickel and dimey to me. Like, yes, almost every other manufacturer raised prices because those Qualcomm modems are expensive, and I'm guessing the displays, like on the Pro models, are going to be more expensive because they do go to 120 hertz, and Samsung is not shy in charging for those panels. So it's going to be much more expensive for Apple to make. And I think normally, like, you'd see the same thing Samsung did, and that's like jack up the prices by $100 or a couple $100. And a lot of other manufacturers have done it. If Apple doesn't, if they keep the price the same, they're taking a huge cut. And yes, they'll save a few dollars by not putting headphones and a plug in there. But, and I say this, it's not my wallet. It's not my wallet that money's coming out of. But and you do that by 100,000 phones, and that's a lot of money. Like it's $4 or something across 100,000 phones, and maybe it adds up to $1 million or something. But it's like the stand on the Pro Display XDR. If you say it's $6,000, but if you don't need the stand, we'll take $1,000 off. It's different than saying it's $5,000 plus $1,000 for the stand, because people hear that and clown you. This is the same thing. It's like, people will hear it, and it doesn't matter that you're saving $100, like you're eating $100. They're just going to think you're nickel and diming them, and they'll hate you.
Yeah, I really don't agree with taking the charger out of the box. My thing is, not everybody has a charger laying around. Now, of course, the hardcore tech nerds are going to have a charger or two or 25. That's a given. But the average person might not have a charger laying around. So now you're giving them a phone without a charger and expecting them to buy a charger third party or as an extra accessory. And that's I just think that's wrong in my book, but what the hell? Apple's gonna Apple. So.
Yeah. And I think like Ethnic is saying, the marketing for battery life and 120 hertz, the reason Apple never gives battery size is because Apple's playing a different game. Like, I would argue milliamp is a bad measure of batteries these days, because it doesn't matter about the battery size so much. It matters about, like, the reason the iPhone 11 Pro has such good battery life is because the OLED displays are more efficient, but the processor is so much more efficient. And unlike Android, Apple doesn't have to deal with interpreted layers. You don't have to deal with garbage collection. The software just runs far more efficiently on the battery. So it'd be dumb for them to measure that, because they're competing on battery efficiency, how long the battery life is, not how big the battery is. So if they get even more efficiency out of the A14, then it might be negligible that the battery is smaller. And because most people don't have 5G, might the hit on that, or people only have low band or mid band, like frequency range 1, it might not be a massive hit on the battery. So we'll have to wait and see.
Definitely. Hopefully, because like you said, last year, the iPhones were kind of renowned for their improvement with battery life. So it'd be kind of crazy if Apple were to take a step backwards with that this year. So hopefully they don't do that.
Yeah, I think it's hard. I think once you set a battery life, you've got to at least maintain it.
Exactly. Definitely. So you, my good sir, you were living the dangerous life this past week. You decided to go into the Reddit, the R Apple Reddit. You went into the Reddit and did a live reaction, which is kind of cool, man. I'm just interested. Well, how did you come up with the idea to go down into the Reddit and go do that?
I have a friend, Devin, who does the Legal Eagle channel, and he did that. And then I saw another friend, Simon, who does a science channel on climate change, and he did a similar thing, responding to some of the comments. And it seemed like a great idea because it's sort of it shows you what people, at least on Reddit, care about. And I think sometimes there's a disconnect between what people care about and what you hear, people talk about. So I wanted to see sort of what are the things that, and they had some fun stuff, like what if Steve Jobs were alive today, and responding to Epic, which is just hilarious to me. So I thought it would be fun. I don't know if they found it fun, probably not, but I found it fun.
Definitely. Okay, I need to take a moment to shout out to my man Josh King-Yonez. I put a tweet out there earlier today because we're pretty much rolling right into iPhone season. And there are brands that send me cases, even though I told them that I don't really do cases for non-iPhone phones anymore, but they still send me cases anyway because they're cool people. But I put out a tweet earlier today, just putting out a general feel because I know a lot of brands follow me. I'm like, listen, I don't do case video for anything but iPhone, but we're about to roll into iPhone season. So if you are a case brand and you want me to do a review of your case, let me know. So Josh King-Yonez just started tagging like 4 or 5 brands in the reply, and 2 of them have already reached out to me like, "Yo, Viper, we got you. We go see some videos." So shout out to Josh for tagging these brands and that tweeting. Like they're hitting me up now to review their iPhone case, and so that's pretty cool. But yeah, if you're a brand that happens to be listening to this live stream and you want me to review your iPhone case, just hit up my business email on Twitter or whatever, or on my about page, and we'll make it happen, dude. I counted today. And last year, I did case video for 10 brands for iPhone season, which is kind of crazy. That's kind of nutty, but yeah, 10 brands last year. I did case video for. So yeah, we're going into iPhone case videos, and I'm pretty sure yourself, Renee, you're going to get a lot of case companies hitting you up to do videos.
Yeah, I don't have I don't know how you do it. I talk to them occasionally, and I'm like, please send this stuff to iMore. I'm only one person now.
Oh, you don't want to go down that rabbit hole.
I don't usually use a case. So like for me, I'd have to put on the case, and but I don't usually use a case. So what difference is there really? Like I feel like it's not my forte. There are so many people like you, who are just so much better at it.
Wait. You walk around with an iPhone without a case?
Yeah.
Oh man, you are a brave fellow. There's no way, man. Now, when I'm at home, yes, I'll walk around caseless. But once I leave the house, there's no way I am leaving the house without a case on my iPhone. I've done that dance, and I've had a case where I dropped an iPhone and it didn't end well. Nope, not doing that no more.
The only time I use the case is a battery case when I travel, but I haven't had to travel this year.
Yeah, you don't need that this year.
Yeah.
Wow.
I love the battery cases. The battery cases are great for traveling.
Oh yeah, especially the Apple Smart battery cases. Those are lovely.
Yeah.
They're big and bulky. Yeah. They power the iPhone through. I remember I did a video where I was testing out the smart battery case for the 11 Pro Max, and with the case on it, the phone lasted 36 hours. I'm like, damn! I'm like, yes, I liked it.
And airports are usually terrible for signal, so the phone gets hot and eats through batteries. And when you're roaming, like when I'm in the US, the towers are tuned differently, and it just kills battery.
Okay, so I know that since you rock your iPhone caseless, you got to have some type of insurance or Apple Care. I'm guessing, right?
Yeah, I have Apple Care on it, but I would do that anyway because I'm clumsy, and I didn't actually ever break an iPhone screen until 2 years ago when I broke 3, I think.
So you know the dangers, but you still rock case, man.
Well, it's only the winters. I fell in a Quebec winter, and I fell right on the phone. So it saved me, but it shattered the phone.
Yikes, man. Like I said, you are a brave man. Yeah, I can't. The redeeming thing though is that I like the Apple leather cases. They made some great leather cases, man. Whew. But yeah, I gotta have a case on my iPhone, especially when I leave the house. I can't do that, man. I can't live that Renee life. I know you and Mark Kent and Drew from St. Louis Tech, you guys love the caseless life. I can't do it, man. I can't do it.
The way nature and Johnny Ive intended.
Right. I mean, it's not even the fact that if you dropping the phone, it's that these phones are so slippery without the case with the glass.
Yes.
They just don't even feel right now having a case on it.
Yeah, I'll walk around sometimes and just hear kabluk, and it's because the phone like managed to work its way all the way across the table and fall off.
Right. It's crazy. Also, Janosa wants to know, do you put a screen protector on?
No, I can't. Like it just the feeling of it. I don't like the feeling of it at all. Like I used to do that. Like my first Trio, I put my first Trio in a metal armor case and a screen protector. I was that afraid of it, and then I'm like, I don't even want to use this thing anymore. So I just can't do it. I'll pay I have Apple Care Plus, and I think it's worth it, and I'll pay whatever the $30-$50 is if I need to. But
yeah, I'm with you. I don't like screen protectors at all. I just like to feel the phone naturally in my hand. I don't want no screen protectors on my phone at all. No, thank you. I'm good.
Yeah.
Hey,
no,
Shelly said today is in the building. Hey, Shelly, how you doing? How are
Shelly.
you? How are you? Shelly is in the building. So, for the 24 seconds of a day that you're not making video for a day, what are you watching? What are you watching on YouTube? What are you doing?
So, I go through phases where I binge watch things like, and I was just binge watching Final Cut Pro editing tips all week.
Oh, that's right.
So, and then I was trying to get better at them, and especially the keyboard shortcuts, because I've always just been so busy. I've edited and worked around things as best I could, but now I'm trying to force myself to use all the keyboard shortcuts. And then today I was watching camera videos because, like, again, I'm self-taught. Everything I've ever done, I've just picked it up and started using it. And I'm like, I don't like that my audio is clipping and I have no idea how to fix it. So I was watching like a bunch of videos on how the audio works, how I can have a safety track, how I can pick which audio goes to which track. Like it changed. Like I watched a ton of different coffee channels and then a ton of different like cooking channels, but they made me too hungry, so I had to stop watching them.
I mean, that's what they're supposed to do. They're supposed to make you hungry.
Yeah.
So you have been an independent creator on YouTube for you've been on YouTube for about 2 years now, but you've been an independent creator for 5 months. So I guess I need to go back further than the 5 months since you've been a creator for almost 2 years now on YouTube. So what has it been like for you making the transition from working for a tech publication to being on YouTube per se? I mean, I know those are like two different worlds, but how has your experience been like for the past 2 years, like being on YouTube?
So I have to preface this by saying that it's not so much being on YouTube, it's not having to be in corporate meetings anymore. And I know you feel that because you still have to do those.
Yeah.
But the amount of my life that I got back, and I would argue like 80% of meetings are unnecessary. Yeah. Completely unnecessary. You could Slack me or you could message me and it would be fine. And so that was like hours a day of like, we have to have a meeting for this. And I'm just sitting there dying. So like now I have like a meeting every like couple weeks, like almost no meetings. And it feels like my old job when I still worked in marketing, it was local. So I had to commute downtown and back. And in Quebec, if there's like no traffic, it was 30 minutes. But if it snowed or something like that, it was 3 hours. And so I would lose between, an hour and a half to 6 hours a day. And when I started working from home with Mobile Nations, I felt like I got half my life back. And so when I went indie, because of the lack of meetings, I felt like I got like a quarter of my life back.
Yeah. Not having to go to meetings is nice. Luckily, in my job, I can pretty much choose whether or not I want to attend the meetings. They're not mandatory, thank God. So half the time I skip most of them anyway. But every now and then I might pop in one just to make sure I'm abreast of what's happening. But it's just like it's just if it's not required, miss me with the meetings. I don't want to. Yeah. And then it's funny how different managers handle meetings. Like some managers, they realize that we don't want to be there, so they try to keep it as short as possible. You got any questions? You got any thoughts? Okay, you don't. Okay, we're done. Bye. And then other managers, they want to hear themselves talk. They want to run across and ask everybody like, "Hey, how you doing? What do you think?" Blah 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 blah. I'm like, dude, listen. Nobody wants to talk. Nobody wants to be in this meeting. We don't need you to prolong the meeting. If nobody is going to speak up and talk to you, then end the meeting. Obviously, if there's an issue, they will come to you directly. You don't need to like hold up the meeting with this stuff. Come on, man.
And we have all these tools now, like all these different, like whether you're using Microsoft Teams or Slack or anything like that, you can send it in the room. And most of the time, like I just make sure people give you an emoji reaction or something and it's fine.
Right. Like, yeah, you don't need to hear everybody say something. You don't need to go around the whole meeting and ask everybody to talk. Like that boggles my mind with those managers that like to do that. Like, please stop. Not
There
necessarily.
was this old Merlin Mann thing. Merlin Mann's a productivity guru. He's the guy who invented Inbox Zero and used to do like talks at Google and stuff. And he'd say like, you can have 10 people for 1 minute or one person for 10 minutes. That's your meeting rule.
Yep. I like that. I like that one. Yeah. Keep the meetings as short as possible. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Well, especially like, because I worked in content creation, and if every minute that I'm not writing or videoing is just a waste of money for everybody. Like me sitting in a meeting is literally a waste of money.
I can see how that would be. Definitely.
I got a hot take to write. Come on, man. I can give you hits.
You got, I mean, come on now. I mean, Renee doesn't do a lot of hot takes, but when he does, they're hot, man. You got to let him do his thing, people. Come on now.
McDLT, hot side hot.
So, but I'm interested to like know like your experiences of like being a YouTube creator, like you're interacting with the community, just you being a presence in the YouTube tech community. Like, how has that all been for you since you like been independent and been on the platform on YouTube?
Yeah, I really like YouTube because I think because it's one platform, the community is much stronger. Like, I think we talked about this before, but back in the day, blogs were super competitive, and they would like rewrite everything that you put out because they didn't want like. Google search is different than YouTube algorithm. Google search back then, at least, and probably still now, prioritized time on page, which is similar to watch time. But the thing is, like, if you, like, let's say, like Viper, you broke a story about AirPod Studio, they don't want to link to you because then they'll see the story link out and they won't get anyone staying on their page. So they would rewrite your entire story, bury the link as much as they could, be super competitive about stuff. And it was never like, people were cordial, but it was never the same kind of community. Where on YouTube, like maybe I'm in your sidebar or you're in my sidebar, and you're like, and I get people wanting to watch my video next, so it benefits us. So everybody seems to be way more friendly. And you look at people like Marquez, who just, what was it, 20 million subscribers?
12 million.
He just passed 12 million. In my head, he's 20 million, but and he's so nice and so grounded and so dignified and so respectful. And like, there are people who aren't like that. There are people who are like complete jerks on YouTube. Like we see them in the news all the time, like the wrong kind of news.
Yeah.
But the tech community that we're just in, and all these because they come on your show and stuff. They're just such good people, and I think it really helps mold the entire community.
Yes, sir. Yourself included, man. You are good people, man.
We're John Rettinger. Happy birthday, John. I mean, like,
yes.
Such good people.
Absolutely, John Rettinger again. Happy birthday, man. Hope you're having a blast. But yeah, let's talk about Marquez for a minute, man. The dude just hit 12 million subscribers on YouTube. He's been on the platform for over 10 years. He is I said on Twitter the other day, I think it was yesterday or the day before yesterday, Marquez is probably, without even exaggerating, the most popular tech media in the world. Like the dude, you say MKBHD, you know exactly who that is. You know what he does. You know what it is. Like just to get to that level and be as good as he is at his craft.
And so young too. He's also so young too.
He's like 24. He's 24. Come on, man. Like, I'm so jealous of these young people out here that are like killing it. And I'm like about to be 40 and like, what am I doing with my life? And they're just like conquering worlds at 20 years old. Like, damn.
And so well spoken and so smart.
Right. But man, no shade though, man. I love Marquez. That dude, he's been nothing but good to me. Every time I like ask him to come on and talk to me, he makes time for me and things like that. So the dude is legit. But damn, he is good, man. Like I said, 10 years on the platform, 12 million deep. Like he is the name.
Hosting David Blaine.
Right. Hosting David Blaine, right? Like, yeah, but you don't get to where he is without putting in the work. That 12 years of grind and work and dedication to his craft to get to where he is. And it's amazing. Like Renee Ritchie, I mean, you come on YouTube and you've had like crazy success on YouTube. But it's not, but it's because you put in like you have 10 plus years of background and being a tech writer or a journalist and things like that. So it's not like you don't know what you're doing, even though you've changed mediums. You still know how to put out stories and put out the hot takes and things like that. So that's why you've gotten 100,000 because you built up that reputation long before you even got to YouTube. So once you got on YouTube, it was just natural for you to blow up because you already had the reputation.
Well, I think it gives you a chance. Like I think if people are familiar with you, they'll give you a chance. But if you like, and I don't want to say I don't suck because I still suck in so many ways. But if you suck, they'll leave right away. Like no one has a golden ticket. Like they'll go and they'll go, "Oh my God, why are you on YouTube?" and leave immediately.
Right, but again, no, I don't know if I would say you suck, but you have definitely put in work. I mean, we know you worked on your camera, your cinematography, your editing. We know you worked on all of that. Just like me, I put out a tweet. I think it was yesterday or the day before yesterday. I remember when I was a nobody on YouTube, when I used to like live stream like maybe 5 or 10 people in a stream. Now I can turn on the camera, hit live, and within 5 minutes have 30 people watching me at any given time, which is kind of crazy when I think about it. I mean, I might not be the biggest, I might not have the biggest subscriber count, but just the mere fact that I can turn on the camera, go live, and have 30 people watch me within 5 minutes is kind of amazing. But like I said on Twitter, it didn't happen overnight, and it's just not like it's not like I'm like the best. It's just the fact that I put in the work for the past 3 years to get to where I am. So people will actually pay attention to me and they trust me, and that's why they come out.
Yeah, no, for sure. And that's like an auditorium full of people in the real world, right? That's like you taking a stage at like a tech event or something and talking, like being on a CES stage and talking to like a room full of people. That's a big amount of people.
Yeah, I mean, I can't talk. It might seem small in a YouTube scale, but it's really not. Like you said, that's like a whole room full of people.
And it's not even small. Like some big YouTubers go on Twitch and they get like 4 or 5 people it takes them a long time to build up like a steady live stream audience. It's not easy. No,
it's funny because me and Roberto were talking about this the other day about how some big creators that go to Twitch or whatever, they don't get like the people, the amount of people that I get on my live streams and things like that. So yeah, you're right. You just gotta put in the work, man. You gotta put in the work. Shout out to Gabriel for the super chat. Thank you, Gabriel. I appreciate you. Appreciate you always supporting, man. So thank you. Also, shout out to NY Tom for the super chat. Thank you, guys. Yeah, Marquez, man, Marquez. Yo, shout out to Marquez. Man, you know I love you, dude. I don't know if you're listening or not, but hey, keep doing what you're doing, man. Don't let nobody tell you differently, man. Just keep doing your thing, dude. Keep doing your thing.
And what I love about Marquez is like there are some, Justine too, you know, John Rettinger, all of them. There are some big YouTubers who like have just done literally the same thing for like 5 years, 10 years, and they are always improving. Like they're always getting some aspect, like a new set, a new camera. In Marquez's case, like a new robot. In John's case, like he just upped his cinematography, like next level Jonathan Morrison style. You know, even Jonathan, he's like gets new cameras and he'll edit on an iPod Touch and it'll look fantastic. But they're never satisfied. And you too, like you know, you watch your old videos and you see now, and you've got like the bokeh going on. It's all buttery behind you, and you got the new mic and everything, and always improving.
Yeah, and I've been adding a lot of like motion and special effects in my videos now too. So man, I've been trying like you got the lights on there, you got your own bokeh, you got the Canon T500. You've been doing big things. You went to 2x1, and I mean, it's constantly improving, man. You can't stay the same, and you can't stay complacent, because you stay complacent, then that's when it's over with. So
yeah, I took my retirement fund and invested it in camera gear on the hope that it would pay off.
I think your gamble has been pretty well, man. Been pretty paid off.
I figured it would last for like I could use this setup for five years. Like I'll keep improving it with like, you know, learning how to use it better. But this is the gear I'm going to use for 5 years. I think I can't be buying a new camera every 10 minutes like a photo tuber.
No, sir. I got my A7 III last year, and I plan on using this camera for like you. I'm at least another 3 or 4 years, man. I have no reason to upgrade to a new camera right now.
Well, that camera and that lens, I mean, that would be hard to beat anyway.
The lens. Yeah. But hey, we are actually being invaded because I've been requested for in-guest spot from my head of security, El Jefe Reviews. Hey, Jeff.
Oh, awesome. Hey, Jeff. How you doing?
How you guys doing, man? What's going on, gentlemen? How's it going?
Good, man.
Going good, man.
It's good to see you.
Good, man. No, likewise, man. I got off work a little early today, so I was like, you know what, just in time, I can hop in. We started earlier, so I got off earlier. So
there you go.
Yeah. What's going on, man? How you guys doing?
You sound so good.
Thank you.
Yeah, his audio's like buttery. Wow.
It's not bad for $40 audio, man, right?
Oh. Man,
it's like, no, but you know what? It's like the camera people who are like, oh, I'm just using a kit camera. I'm like, yeah, but you got that eye. Like, you know how to dial that stuff right in.
Yeah, no, it's all good now. I've digressed. I've gone backwards on my video quality, though. I'm using the webcam because I don't want to set up the Canon or all that. I'm just keeping it simple for the Zoom calls. You know, that's how I roll. But man, no, good conversation, man. I've been trying to listen in as much as I can in between the appointments and stuff. So good stuff today, man.
For a person that didn't know what the hell was going on, it has turned out pretty well.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised, especially when Renee brought up the similarities between the Apple and the situation with Markiplier and YouTube, and I was like, I had never put that kind of like correlation together, the lack of internal communication going on between these teams. And it reminded me of my former employer, where we would have similar issues between the different teams, where nobody would communicate, and then we'd all look like jerks to our customers. You know what I mean? They're like, well, how come this team's not communicating? I'm like, Listen, man,
Oh,
I
but
don't
keeping
know.
it real, like look at what happened with Microsoft and the Duo. Like that is such bad corporate community. Like the review, like the outbound PR team sets a review embargo where people can do unboxings but can't show software, and then the retail marketing team puts them in every Best Buy with the software turned on. They obviously did not talk to each other at all.
Yeah. Oh man, yeah, that was funny because I think who it was our boy TK Bay, and I forgot who else. Were like Johnny reporter on the ground,
Yeah.
getting. I was like, hell yeah, bro, let's do it.
And like
So,
Fisher, Marquez, none of them could turn the thing on.
Oh man,
Oh, yeah, they could turn it on. So actually, you know what? Let's talk about that, Renee. Why do that? Like, why give out a device that reviewer can't turn on? Man, I kind of have an idea, but what are your thoughts on it, Renee?
So I'll give you two reasons. One, that people who are overly sensitive to Microsoft will say, and it's like, so every company does try to maximize what they get. So it should be a harmonic relationship where, like, let's say I give you a review unit, Viper. I'm trying to get word of mouth marketing, which is super valuable because your audience trusts you. They want to hear what you think. So yes, you're getting a free device, but I'm getting access to your audience, which is hugely valuable. And there's an argument to be made that they're moving away from tech reviewers and they want to get like Charlie D'Amelio's audience next, but whatever. For now, it's just they want that marketing, and you get exclusive content, which makes your audience happy. So it's like it should be a two-way relate, and your audience gets buying advice because like maybe they don't know if they should get the Fold or the Duo, and you'll say like if you're this type of person, get the Fold. If you're this type of person, get the Duo, and that's very valuable for them. So everybody should win, and there are like sometimes there are unboxing embargoes and there are like review embargoes, but I've never seen an unboxing embargo where you couldn't turn the device on. That's the weird part for me. Like usually you can turn it on, like people will swipe through a few things. They'll be honest. They'll say, I've only had this for 6 hours. I can't possibly do a review. I'll be back with that in a week. Or like, there's another embargo coming for reviews because the company wants to make sure nobody rushes the review out just to be first. Although some will do that anyway, but not turning it on to me is like, well, if they can't turn it on, you shouldn't give it to them yet. If it's not ready for them to turn it on, if you don't have confidence in them turning it on out of the box, if you're waiting on a software update, if you want to make sure they're familiar with it, call up every one of them on Zoom if you have to and walk them through it. Like whatever you have to do to make them comfortable and you and your marketing execs comfortable, do it. But to make the review embargo that much further out and to not let them show software while your retail marketing team is putting it at Best Buy, to me is just like an absolute collapse of internal and external comms.
Yeah, dude, that was bad, man. And what I don't like, it's that it also kind of sets a bad precedent where other companies may try to pull the same type of thing.
Right.
And I completely agree. If it's not ready, just don't put it in the hands. Because I've been seeing this for years with like other companies, especially like with the graphics cards. Like when you would have NVIDIA or AMD would drop a graphics card, they would always have an unboxing embargo. Then they would have, the actual where they could start bringing out benchmarks and like all that stuff a couple of days later. So I understand that, but with a phone to not be able to turn it on, that was kind of what shocked me when I first saw Marquez's video. I was like, what? And then I saw Michael Fisher was on Twitter and he was kind of talking about the frustrations around that and stuff. And it kind of makes sense. Like, I mean, he was being very, he's always very eloquent in the way that he puts his words and
super
stuff.
Classy.
Yeah, always, and it makes perfect sense though. And I can understand that level of frustration, especially somebody, at the level that Michael Fisher is, not just on a sub count thing where people might get that mistaken, but the level of reputation and the level of trust that a lot of us have in his content. So yeah, it's just kind of wild to have that happen. And here's the thing though, don't get me wrong. I think the device looks cool. And I know that there's a specific user for it.
Seriously.
But it's just one of those things where I'm like, this is a very weird launch. But then again, this is probably one of the least weird things of 2020, to be completely honest. But
no, that's all fair. But like if it wasn't Microsoft, if it was a smaller company, it'd be hard for they get a lot more pushback. I think from people. And also, it's such a weird device because it's running Android. And if you told me even 5 years ago Microsoft would put out a device running like Android, I would have thought I wouldn't know what you were sniffing. Like I would say like Steve Ballmer is rolling over in his basketball court.
Right.
Crazy. Oh, we got a super chat from M. Jameson again. Thank you, M. Jameson. I appreciate you. He said, will Apple get reckless with iPhone storage like 128, 256, and 512, or 256, 512, and 1 terabyte. I don't think there'll be a 1 terabyte model this year, just because, again, with the addition of 5G driving up the manufacturing cost, I don't think Apple's going to be willing to add extra storage that they haven't added last year. So I think you're going to get the same 128, 256, 512, just to keep the cost down. But that's my guess.
It's more too, because when you get higher RAM, you have to have there's a whole bunch of stuff that you have to have more RAM to support 1 terabyte, which is why the iPads went to 6 gigabytes of RAM. And all of that adds cost and also draws power. And that's a very carefully balanced, it's a miracle these things work. Like batteries are also insulators. They keep the heat up. They're not RF transparent. So the bigger the battery, the harder it is to get the signal in and out through it. Like these companies are working like silly magic to make these things to begin with.
Yeah. Especially, and we have to be thankful for where we are now, because, I don't know if Viber remembers playing with that first gen iPad versus 2020 iPad Pro. It's just like, it's such a wide, massive user experience difference. Dude, it's crazy.
First iPhone was the biggest screen you could put in a phone at the time. It wasn't because now it seems tiny, but that was literally the biggest screen they could fit in the phone at the time.
We are literally going from 3.2 inch, which I think was the original iPhone, to this year topping out at 6.7 inch, which is just massive when you think about it.
Yeah,
dude.
Yeah.
So talking about what Zach is saying right here about the manipulation of Microsoft for reviewers. So listen, you said this on Twitter, and I kind of agree with you, but at the same time, like Renee said, the reviewers have the option to say no. Like if Microsoft's like, okay, we want to send you out their Duo or our Duo, but you can't turn it on. I mean, as a reviewer at that point, are you comfortable making content on a device that you can't turn on until such and such day? I mean, so
it's Microsoft. Like you want, like that's a big relationship to balance. Like
right, but you're right. But still, as a reviewer, you have the choice. It's like, if you don't want to be a part of that, then you could just say no. But like Renee said, you probably don't want to burn that bridge. But I mean, I can't totally blame Microsoft when people have the choice not to do it.
Yeah, if it was HTC, they might go, no, sorry. But Microsoft, but I want that new Surface laptop. I really want that next Surface laptop.
Right. Yep.
It's a careful balance, man, between especially if you're dealing with PR, some of the PR people that you have to do, or the company contacts and stuff. And the really good ones, like I've got some really good contacts now. And with them, it's like, if you don't want to work on something or something, if it's just not right or a good fit, most of the time you could say, hey, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and back out of this. I appreciate the offer, but this just kind of isn't a right fit for me this time, but let's circle back, for the next launch or whatever. And I've done that before, and they've come back around, on the next launch, which I ended up working with them. So it's one of those things where I guess it just depends on the people, but if you come at them very straight, because we're all people, that's the thing. Yeah, people got to remember that. You just talk to the person straight up, like, hey, this isn't, I'm not really with this. So I'll get on the next one, but I'm also not operating at the 10 million sub level, the 1 million sub level, the 500,000 sub level. So it's different for me in that sense. So
yeah, like there was that old thing, like the Wall Street Journal could publish their review 2 minutes before the embargo, because what are you going to say to the Wall Street Journal? It's like, but at the same time, it also depends like how well the PR person. Like, they might be going, look, we know this is terrible. I'll be straight with you. Our executives have lost their mind. They've been sheltered in place too long. They're really nervous about the software stack. They want to do unboxings because they think it's important. They know the notes coming out. They know the folds coming out, and they want to get the unboxings out. But we're going to have a big update that's coming. It's going to fix a bunch of stuff. And we're worried that we'll get crappy reviews if you do everything at the same time. So we're just asking you, can you just agree to this unboxing for us, and we'll make it right with you next time?
Yeah.
You never know.
Yeah. We don't know the ins and outs of it, man. Man, look at Easy. I already knew. Easy didn't even have to say it.
Look at this man. Oh my God. My man got the Fold 2 and he getting the Duo. Like, hey, you're doing it big, man. You're doing it big. That's what's up.
Eric's getting every phone.
Of course.
Like putting a hot dog inside a taco.
Oh, look at this guy. Look at late but still great. Andrew Evans.
Did he hear how much we were complimenting him earlier, and that's why he decided to pop in?
He must have. When you say Andrew Evans' name, he has an affinity to show up.
We did it 3 times. It was like Beetlejuice.
Right? I think he low-key be listening to what I'll be saying sometimes. He doesn't always comment, but he's always listening to me at some point. But yeah. Yeah, Andrew, I don't know how you all be listening to Andrew, but I started off the live stream tonight talking about the WWE contract situation with Vince controlling these people, and I'm like, listen, man, don't let a brand control you to the point where you don't have an out. again, like I said earlier, I know WWE has the leverage because they're WWE. They're the biggest name in wrestling. You got the fame, you got the money and things like that. But you should always have a creative out. Like Andrew, like you always say, Andrew, don't be holding yourself to one platform. You gotta be accessible to all the platforms. Now I realize this is different with WWE, but if you got Vince McMahon telling you that you can't be accessible on third-party clients like a Twitter or a Cameo or something like that, and you're an independent contractor, that's a problem. Like that I don't know. But yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, you got to make the best decisions for you. But I just don't like a brand having that type of control over an independent creator, though. That's just that's not gonna work. It's not gonna work.
Yeah. Legal just tweeted about everyone asking him to cover that. So hopefully we'll get some legal expertise on contractor status.
Okay.
I like seeing that legal stuff and Ian Corzine, dude.
Yeah,
their stuff is so good. So yeah, they did one. I know Ian did a live stream the other day on like 10 mistakes that influencers make, and I was in there just jotting notes down. Like, what am I doing?
Agreeing to let your video be deleted by the brand after you make the deal.
Oh man! Oh
yeah.
I bet Andrew might know a little bit something about it. You might know a little something about that.
Yeah, man. No, we were.
I was just listening to him on Sarah's podcast. He's so smart.
Yeah,
so smart.
All right, Andrew said the problem is that a lot of these people grew up wanting to do that job since they were children, so they're blinded to the legal stuff around it. I agree. A lot of them, like that was their childhood dream, and once you realize your dream, you're just in the moment, and you don't realize that there's a whole business around you realizing your dream. So yeah, I completely agree with you. It's exactly what it is.
And it's so cross industry. Like they're having that problem in California now with Uber and Lyft people being contract workers and what it means in terms of the benefits they're given. And we had that with people doing media companies too. It's like, how many hours are they doing? And that's not part-time. And if you tell them when they have to start and stop, that's not contracting, right? Like contracting, they work at their leisure, not at your schedule. Because you work at your schedule, that's an employee. And people try to get away with that kind of stuff all the time.
Yeah. They're blurring the lines here a lot too, especially. I mean, they've been crucial for technically speaking, we're still shelter in place here, and we're 6 months now?
Yep.
Yeah, 6 months in now. And well, give it like another week or two. And I'm like, so we've used them a lot as far as, the services to get stuff delivered and things of that nature. But dude, the lines are so blurry. Like I was watching it on the news and I'm like, this is just nuts at the timing of all of this. And I'm like, are you guys freaking insane? Because it got to the point where they were going to do it. And then, Uber was like, well, we're going to have to shut down for a couple of weeks. And it's just like, do y'all know what that means? Like, I don't think you guys understand what that means. It's going to be pretty bad. So, but dude, I'm telling you, man, this year has been, it has exposed the house of cards that we are living in and that we have built up around ourselves, and so many weaknesses in our society and our government. And dude, it's opened up a lot of people's eyes. Like a lot of people who, when I used to say stuff like this to people, like, do you know that we're only like 2 days away from complete anarchy? Do you know that? And I would tell people that, it sounds alarmist, but that was what I would say to people when I would implore them to build an earthquake preparedness kit. Because I live in the Bay Area. So if you guys know, we get a ton of earthquakes here. So I would implore people to build earthquake preparedness kits. And I would tell them, like, dude, 2 days, you make sure you got food, water, all the stuff you need, get your medicines, get all that stuff together. And I would tell people that. But then when they saw this whole thing happen, then I had a lot of people hitting me up like, yo, what are the things I need to have? And I'm like, oh, bro, you should have been ready already. I've been telling you this for years. Like, come on, man. So
ounce of prevention.
Yeah. I mean, just little things, but yeah, it's been crazy, man. But at least for, on the other side of it, to not be fully negative, 2020 has been, on a personal level, my most lucrative year. So awesome. I can't, but that's something that I try not to like humble brag or like to try to put it in front of people's faces, because it's like a lot of people aren't doing well. So, but we got to celebrate the few wins that we can get. So
for real.
Yeah. But man, happy on the other side though, 2020 has been your most lucrative year, because like I was just telling Renee earlier, you put in the work to get to where you are in 2020. This stuff does not happen overnight. It's not hand gifted to us. We put in the work to get here, and we're reaping the rewards of our hard work. That's exactly what it is.
Dude, it saved us, bro. Like when my brother lost all of his income, lost all of his work, when we went full shelter in place and everything got shut down, the income that I was getting from the channel is what floated us until he got his Twitch up and running.
That's awesome.
And it kept us going, man, because if it hadn't have been for that, we would have been in dire straits. So, that's just one of those things, man. We're I'm super happy, man. I'm doing things things are going well. Got the new job, working with a good company, working with really good people, helping people. That's something that feels good on a daily basis, man. So yeah.
So talk to us about that. How are things? How are you? Actually, I guess the first question is, what exactly are you doing, if you can talk about it, in your new role?
It's a secret, bro. No, just kidding. No, I'm literally just, working with creators directly. Like literally just like if, people who want, assistance, because it's mostly people who are starting out or like very low level, starting out on YouTube, starting their YouTube journey. A lot of people who started during the COVID thing and stuff. So basically just helping them out, get their stuff together, get their stuff optimized, help them with strategy, help them with tips. Usually it's, I'll kind of ask them, like, I'll look at their stuff and see what needs help at a surface level. And then we move into like a little bit of strategy of, what are they trying to do? What are the goals? What are their pain points? And then we kind of just work from there. So just kind of,
cool, man.
just helping people. And it feels good for me. Like, because usually when I'm done, people are, they're like, all right, I got a lot to do. I got a lot to work on. And this is great. So that's the best feeling. You know what I mean? Is, kind of, it's like, there's a lot of stuff that we don't do as creators because either one, nobody tells us, or two, we just don't go looking for these answers, even though all the answers are out there. All the YouTube education is out there. If you want it, it's all out there. But sometimes we just don't have the time or whatever it might be. So I like being that spark in certain people's heads where it just like clicks and they're like, I didn't know I could do that. Or I didn't know that's how that worked.
Or so that's you forget like this is the best practice because you heard about it 3 years ago and used to do it, but over time you were busy with other stuff. Like that happens to me so often.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, I totally forgot I shouldn't do this because everyone leaves the video when I do this.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's like, it's little things, and I mean, but even not only that, it's also learning from some of the best, and being able to be a shadow on, different calls, different, clients, different things. And seeing, dude, I've been seeing so many channels from, today was the lowest sub number channel that I work with today. It was 7 subs, but the quality of this channel, I was like, are you kidding me? That's so awesome. Yeah, 7. I was like, it's one of those things where I'm just like, this is going to be crazy when YouTube figures this person out. But even then, up to what was it, a couple of days ago, was channel 1.1 million. So yeah, so I mean, it's all sizes, so I get to see it from all different angles, all different experience levels and stuff. So
tomorrow will be like Mr. Beast going, I don't know if the sandwich is a taco or a hot dog. I need to know if the thumbnail should be called World's Biggest Sandwich or World's Biggest Hot Dog. I tried to ask him this, and he got so angry that I need to call you now. Is it a hot dog or a sandwich?
I'll have to call in special support I'll have to get Zach on the horn so we can get that, we can get that sorted out.
Everything is a put in. It's just,
I mean, while we're on the subject, Renee, which one is it for you? Is a hot dog a sandwich, Renee?
Yeah, it's like a robin is a bird, but not all birds are robins. So a hot dog is a taco, which is a sandwich.
Okay, all right. There you go.
Galaxy Fold is a taco, not a hot dog. I don't know why Joanna Stern is calling it
that. Oh my God, I still can't believe that Joanna Stern put a hot dog in the middle of a Galaxy Fold.
She's so creative. It's amazing.
Yeah, she is. She definitely thinks outside the box for sure.
No, it's a good time though, man. I'll tell you this much right now. Like, it's a good time, man. So learning a lot, and it's been good, man. I'm juiced. I'm like excited. Like I haven't been this excited about like work on a daily basis in years. So and even before this, when I was just like my former company that I was working for had us here basically working from home, but I was essentially not doing much of anything. And it doesn't feel good, like to kind of just sit around not doing much, but you're being paid. And it's just like I felt not. I'm a person that likes to feel useful. You know what I mean? And I was just like, this isn't it. So yeah, it was
trolling
good timing
by sending them Sony pictures and claiming that they were AirPod Studio.
I should have.
Oh, Zach asked me this. So this is a Hale microphone that I use for Mac Break Weekly because they prefer everyone to be on the same sort of mic because they want everyone to sound the same. And Leo really loves Hale PR40 mics. And then for the videos, I use Sennheiser.
Nice.
Yeah, from above. Nice.
Yeah.
Because I don't want it in frame so much.
Yeah.
But this I've had for like 10 years. Well, not 10, whenever long I've been on Mac Break for. They're like, just get this mic. I'm like, okay.
There you go. There you go. So, firstly, Mr. Andrew Edwards, check into the DM. There you go.
Oh, no.
Secondly,
He demands a link here. What's going on with that, Viper?
he dropped the link. He said drop him a link, so I'll drop him a link. So there you go.
He's having technical issues.
Jeff,
He's getting that intro
have
ready.
you put the headphones on your head yet, Jeff? I need to know.
What's up?
Have you put the headphones on your head yet?
You talking about the Sonys?
Yeah.
Oh, I've been thoroughly testing them. They needed some EQ work for sure. That's why I sent you that.
We had the
EQ
conversation.
stuff.
That's right. We already had.
Yeah.
So much.
Oh, but here's the thing, Viper.
Uh-oh.
Are you going to be picking up the new Crusher Evos?
No, probably not.
I don't know, man. You watch Floss's video that he just put out like half hour ago.
Your face.
Put it
That
like
good,
this.
huh? That good?
Put it like this.
Okay.
I feel heavily influenced right now. I feel the full weight of the Flossie Carter influence on my Amazon shopping cart right now.
I know what I'm doing when I get off the stream. I know what I'm doing.
Look at Travis. Look at Travis. Look.
I need Travis. Travis, like I may need him.
It's total. Like it's anti. It's like if you're an audiophiles need not sign up. This is a just straight up bass head's dream. It's like you're inside the trunk of a car with subwoofers. It's crazy.
It's where the old Beats team went after they couldn't work at Apple anymore.
Yeah, basically.
I swear, man. I love you all. My fellow tech creators, I love you all. Like I said, 2 hours ago, I told y'all I had no idea how this trip is going to go. And now I got even more backup because now we got to bring in my man, Mr. Andrew Edwards himself. What's up, man? Oh,
wait. Like the Ultimate Warrior. Is that what that is?
No, that's Street Fighter shirt. He got the Street Fighter shirt on.
That's right, right?
Hey,
yeah.
What's happening?
What's happening, man? How you doing?
I'm doing all right.
It's been a while
Happy
since
at
I've
the
had
end
you on
of
the
the
show. Been a long time, man.
Yeah. A little bit. I was on a podcast. That's what it was.
Yeah, we on a podcast, but you haven't been back on the show lately. So I appreciate you, man. Thank you.
Well, I'm back.
I'm
glad to be angry.
Glad to have you back, baby.
Thank you.
Andrew.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's more your field than my field. I mean, I watched WWE, but you were a wrestler or are a wrestler. Talk to us about what the hell is going on with Vince.
I don't know. He's old. I mean, I think he just had his 75th. Well, the thing is like with pro wrestling, like if you really break it down, in order to be popular, it has to be like mainstream pop culture.
Mm-hmm.
It has to be seen as cool. And the problem is when you're writing a script for a show, which is what it is, you have to be in touch with what's cool to your audience that you're trying to attract. And it's hard, in my opinion, for anyone who's 75 or 76 years old to be super in tune to what, let's just say, an 18, 25, 30, even 40-year-old thinks is cool and hip and attractive. So, that's problem number one. And problem number two, like I said earlier, is you have a bunch of people who wanted to do a specific career since they were children, who are living their dreams. And it could be, NBA players, football players, etc. But there aren't those same types of rules for those other, superstars where they're saying, hey, we don't want to treat you like an employee. We don't want to pay you like an employee. And we don't want to give you benefits like an employee. So we're going to make you a contractor, but we're going to do things and demand things that would go against that type of arrangement. And we know you're going to do it because where else are you going to go? Who's going to fight us? So,
right.
That's it. It's unfortunate.
Because it's either the minor leagues, right? Or I could have sworn. Now I don't keep up with it anymore. I got friends, like local friends, who wrestle in at least they did wrestle in like local circuits here
Little
around
gyms
town and
stuff.
Yeah. So they would, and they would set up the whole event. There'd be a crowd and bleachers and like the whole thing, and it was a blast. Like, don't get me wrong, it's a blast. But it was you know, because I'm guessing beyond that, like when I was asking one of the boys, I'm like, what's after this? You know what I mean? What's past this? And he was saying there's not much more beyond, you know, the big corporation. I'm like, oh, okay, all right.
Right.
So right now, the only really direct competition that WWE has is AEW. TNA is out there too, but TNA is like so far down at the bottom. Yeah, they don't. It's almost like they don't even exist. So it's WWE, it's AEW, and that's pretty much it.
And there's New Japan if you want to go overseas.
Yeah, right. If you want to go across the New Japan, right?
Why did Ted Turner have to sell? Why did Ted Turner have to sell?
But Andrew, my point is, like, we both know, Andrew, that nobody will probably do it because of the fame and the clout they have with WWE. But if somebody wanted to oppose this and take WWE to court, WWE would lose.
Right. I think at least in the past, the fear was, okay, I beat them, but that doesn't mean they have to hire me back. And so where else do I go? I beat them. I got this moral victory. Now what? Is my career over? But at least I won.
Right.
So I think that was the main thing. And I don't know. Same thing. I feel like Vince McMahon, for all he's done for his industry, he doesn't understand Twitch. Like he doesn't understand these different things that people are doing under their own personal names and likenesses. Like he can't say, well, if you work for me, then I own your likeness. If you go by a name that I've given you, I also own your real name, which I've never used ever on my show. Like that just doesn't make any sense. So
yeah, how does he own their real name? Like I understand if he owns like their WWE name and gimmick, but how can he own their real name? How is that even possible?
It makes no sense.
We've seen that with media companies too, though, where they try to say that they own the Twitter account for the person working for them, especially when they're big, traditional publications.
Interesting.
That's crazy to me.
But was that part of the agreement when those people agreed to the relationship up front?
Because it's hard to tell because they claim that they made they gave them the platform to build that following, but then you'll look and see that there's 10 people all working at that place and only one of them built a following. Just working there didn't get them a following.
Right.
Crazy, man. Crazy stuff, Andrew. Crazy stuff. So right before you came in here, we were talking about what's happening with Microsoft and influencers and how they gave the Surface Duo to a bunch of influencers, but told them they couldn't turn it on.
Yeah.
So how do you feel, Andrew, about that whole arrangement? Yeah, we'll give you the Duo, but just don't turn it on until such and such a date.
Yeah. I was not part of that arrangement, but so I think there's two ways to look at it. The first way is, what are you trying to hide? First of all, no one has to agree to an embargo. It's either here's the embargo. Do you agree? Yes or no? And if yes, then you abide by it. I mean, that's it. So usually the way Microsoft does it is here's the device. Don't say anything until this date, and then say whatever you want. That's usually how it goes. So I think in their view, in Microsoft's view, they are being less strict than typical because instead of don't say anything until September 8th, which I believe is the embargo date. Don't say anything until September 8th. It's, hey, you can say some stuff. So you can do a couple pieces of content. Now, this is similar to how Samsung does it, with the exception that Samsung will say, here's a device, here's the embargo date for impressions, but please don't do a full review until this date. So basically, Samsung is saying, we want you to use this device for a week or two before you publish something called a review. We're not going to hand it to you, and 24 hours later, you have a full review ready to go. But 24 hours later, go ahead and give impressions, unboxings, turn it on. Just don't give a definitive yes, no, thumbs up, thumbs down, which I think that makes more sense.
Mm-hmm.
When you're saying don't turn something on, I'm glad that they didn't say, because they could have done this. They could have said, here's the embargo, and you cannot talk about what the embargo entails. So they could have said, don't turn it on, but also don't mention the fact that we're telling you not to turn it on. Don't talk about that aspect. Right. They could have done that, which they didn't do. But still, when you say don't turn it on, the first thing I thought, and I think the first thing a lot of people are going to think is, wait, what are you trying to hide? What's wrong? What's the problem? And I think that there are some problems, and we will hear about those problems in 4 days. So, hopefully they are working on some sort of, for lack of a better term, day one patch for the current software. A hot fix, right? The day before or day of. Kind of like, what was it, the last iOS that Apple released, where it was like iOS 13?
Yeah, iOS 13, man.
Or something.
That was
like
pain. Yeah.
It was like day 3 or whatever. Yeah, I think Microsoft has something like that up their sleeve. But it's different here because there's 2 companies involved in this software. Like, Microsoft is building on top of Android. So I don't know which side or both sides or whatever are rushing to.
They all have different PR teams, which you don't have to deal with at Apple. Apple has one PR team. They all know exactly what everyone else is doing.
Yes.
Where Microsoft has like external, internal, and I think their retail marketing team is totally separate from their device review marketing team.
Yes. And Apple, the way they do it, like, it's so unique. Anyone you talk to about their products works at Apple. There's no, we got to contact this person at Edelman. Like, it's weird. Edelman sets everything up for Samsung, but when you get shipped a device, it's shipped from Allison PR, but you never talk to Allison PR. They just ship, like, very confusing. Versus, I don't know, Apple has invested in their PR. Like, I'm assuming the reason companies hire out is it may be cheaper than to keep these people on staff. I don't know why else you would.
Also, Apple is happy having a small team. Like, their PR team compared to a lot of companies is tiny.
You wouldn't know it when you deal with them. I mean, they're on the ball. Like, and I'm sure they get fielded tons of, questions and requests. And
oh man, 1 year, because Google had internal, external PR. I forget the name of the company at the time, but Panzerino and us were given different embargo dates for one of the Pixels.
Oh my God.
And we were just chatting, and he's like, wait a minute, they gave you this date, they gave me this date. And then, like, everybody started scammering, and they're like, oh, hold on, we got to have a discussion, and then we'll get back.
That's funny. I mean, that is sad, but not as sad as don't talk about the software. However, anyone can go to a Best Buy, T-Mobile, and check it out for themselves and record their own
literally. What? Literally.
Yeah, I don't think they knew. I don't think the review team knew about that.
Like, what is going on, Microsoft? What are you doing? Craziness. All right, Andrew. We got to talk about this massive flex that you put on Twitter the other day, man. So y'all know Andrew. This boy like to flex like nobody's business. So we were on Twitter having a conversation about the Galaxy Fold and who's getting the Fold 2, and Andrew just massively dropped the flex. This dude is getting the Tom Brown edition, but no. He didn't stop there. No, he also is getting, on top of the Tom Brown edition, he's getting the Mystic Black edition. So I guess my first question is, why are you getting 2 Galaxy Fold 2s? I don't understand.
Because then, how many people are going to have a video where they have all 3 versions in one? So, listen. The thing with me is...
Wait, did you know who Tom Brown was when they announced...
I did not. Well, when they announced this one, I did. But the first time with the Z Flip, I had no idea who that was. But I think, in all seriousness, I always try to think of... Okay, like, some people say... Actually, Renee talked about... You and Renee talked about this recently, a few weeks ago. Everybody gets their early devices. People put their videos out. Other people might get them later. And then it's like, well, now I'm deflated. I don't want to put mine out anymore because they're all already out there. Everybody's opinion's out there. Well, number one, your opinion isn't out there yet. But for me, I also try to think there is an aspect of, okay, I've watched, Apple announces an iPhone. All of us go and get our impressions. We put our videos out. Okay, I've just watched 12 iPhone hands-on impressions videos. Why would I watch this 13th one? There is an aspect of that. So I always try to think, what can I do just a little differently to stand out a little bit amongst all the competition, amongst all the different thumbnails out there. And so, like, for the Z Flip, mine was actually delayed by UPS. So they sent them all out same day, but everyone else got theirs a day before me. And so right off the bat, and the day that mine arrived, it didn't come in the morning. It came out at 6 p.m. So it's really like almost 2 full business days that mine got delayed. And so I start getting to work on putting videos together, and I'm just like, I have to do something different because there's a lot of this content out there already. For the launch, I was just trying to think, what can I do that you won't see in a lot of other videos? And what first occurred to me was, they said the time bound edition was limited to 5,000. I would imagine not many people, no one's going to be sent it for review, and not many people are going to purchase it. So that's one way to set my video apart. And then number two, I do have my review unit, which I have to return. But in the meantime, while I have that and I'm buying the Tom Brown, why don't I buy the other one? And then in my video, you can see, I can talk about all three, or I can show all three, or it's just a little something different than what I assume you'll see in others. And that's really the main point.
That's a
Do you
good point.
find this too? Like, I remember Viper, like Justine did her Memoji video at WWDC, but you did one later that, like, I would think was one of your best performing videos. And we used to see this at iMore every year. It's like we would do really well, or Mac Rumors would do really well with iPhone keywords in Google. And then the launch would come in Wall Street Journal and Marquez, and all like the biggest people would hit it, and they would own Google for like a week, but then they would be on to the next device. And we would still be doing iPhone content, and then we would just soar right back up to the top. And not everybody buys the first day something comes out, or watches the first day. They're like buying it a week later, and they want to know, or 2 weeks later, or a month later. And if you can be there for them, especially if you're at the niche down level where you're doing a lot of consistent content, your potential is unlimited in what you can do long term with that stuff.
Yep,
you are correct. That is still my #1 video to this day on the channel.
Yeah, and did it matter Justine did it first? No. I mean, like, you did it when people wanted to watch it.
Yep.
Yeah, people are always looking for how to use them, how to do them, and all that stuff. It's funny, man, but it's something that'll keep working for you too if you want to. And anytime we see anything like that, you always want to follow up if possible. But I'm assuming once the because the new one hasn't gotten public yet, right? Everybody's still in beta.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm pretty sure that people are going to want to know, for all the people that don't do betas, like I don't do betas on my phone. For all those people that don't do it, I would hit that again as soon as that launches. I would hit that how-to Memoji again.
Oh, I am. I plan.
Yeah. Like that day, like as soon as it comes out, man, as soon as you get word that it's coming, have that video like, good to go, and just hammer it, because why not?
Yeah.
All us civilians with our iPhones are going to need to know how to do it.
That's exactly
especially now, because
right.
you can do it on Mac too.
Yeah, and that's one of those topics that so many people in like the tech sphere clown on. Emojis are stupid, childish, whatever. It's like you're so far removed from the average everyday consumer who that may very well be a reason that people upgrade. The sole reason I am iOS 14 is because I want either the new emojis or the new Memojis, or both.
Yeah.
That's the only reason, and I'm going to do it day one. So kudos to you for kind of embracing something that is almost seen as an afterthought in like the tech community, but is, it's a big deal, as silly as it sounds, to the average consumer.
It is.
We got hate, like at iMore, we got hate for doing help and how-to content. Like, and I remember my boss at the time was like, "Oh, you're never going to be able to do anything with that." And it became such a good thing for us. And even like people clowned us for doing Pokemon Go content. But that first weekend, Serenity Caldwell was out playing, and she was trying to find out how to do stuff. And she looked at the internet, and the stuff was wrong. And there's, Serenity Caldwell will not abide the internet being wrong about something. So she started writing, and then she called me, and I started writing. Our Pokemon traffic for for 3 months was bigger than our iPhone traffic. It was absolutely ridiculous. And everyone's like, oh, doing like, yeah, laughing all the way to the bank. Literally not kidding.
I think the one thing that a lot of creators like kind of overlook or forget about YouTube is that at the heart, it's the search engine. It's the #2 search engine in the world. So you do a how-to video or a video teaching somebody how to do something, it's going to perform well. Now, it might not perform well out of the gate, but over time, that's evergreen content. That's going to come back up the top.
That's how McKinnon made his channel. It was like, what is it, five camera hacks in 5 minutes or something. And that was, it exploded.
Yeah.
Oh, Tech Ram with a hard-hitting question for you, Andrew. You want to know you're going to get that Escobar fold?
Oh, my God.
The fold 3?
I'm not going to encroach on Marquez territory.
But seriously, Andrew, are you going to keep both of those, or are you going to get rid of one, or what are you going to do with the other one?
I don't know. I may keep both. I'm not a big fan of the buy and return thing.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to buy something specifically knowing I'm going to return it just so I can make content about it. I've never been a fan of that. So usually it's like I don't know, what do you call it? Like a personal moray or whatever it is. Like, if I buy it, then I just have to keep it. Or, maybe I'll resell. Maybe I'll put it on Craigslist or something if I don't want to or whatever, and lose a little bit. But
I don't
living
like
that Detroit Borg life.
Right.
there you go.
Buying everything, man.
I don't like returning stuff either, man. First, pre-COVID, I didn't want to deal with people as it was. So, you know what I mean? So I was already not trying to go back. So if I was buying something, I've already thought it so through that I already know I'm keeping it. Like when I'm buying it, I'm already committing to it. The only time you'll see me actually like return something or anything like that is if there's like a defect or I need to warranty something, something along those lines. But it'll never be a catch and release kind of thing where, I bought this, but you know what? I'm not feeling it. I'm just going to go return.
Yeah.
Nah. And that's just not how I am, because by the time I invest my money in it, I'm already in. I'm already emotionally, like mentally, I've already thought it all the way through. And now that we're in COVID, I ain't going to no store to return anything crazy. I ain't doing that.
I feel you, man. Yo, shout out to Brett Show for the super chat. Thank you, sir.
Hey,
man. Thank you.
Hey, did you guys talk about? I didn't see the whole show. Did you guys talk about Apple and the legal stuff?
Not this show. I've been talking about it for a while, but I haven't talked about it on this show. No.
Oh, I know you have. Just curious if I missed it.
What do you want to talk about? Which aspect?
It's very frustrating. It's very frustrating for me. First of all, I'm not trying to just open a new conversation. I'm sorry. But first of all,
no, go ahead, man.
Game Pass. Come on with Game Pass. And number two, we'll talk about both of these. But number two, I was just doing some research earlier. Other people probably already know this, but the excuse regarding Epic Games, regardless of how you feel about Epic Games, Apple has other apps that sell digital goods on the App Store that use their own payment services and don't pay 30% or 15%. There are other services. So it is a very inconsistent message to say all developers are treated the same when you can very clearly point at other ones where they're not.
Actually,
we talked about that before. Like games are different.
Yeah,
everyone treats games different. Like even Google takes their 30% and they don't take it for anything else, but everybody wants 30% of the games. It's because so much money.
Why games? Like why is it
it's a tobacco tax, man. It's a tobacco tax.
And what is it about games that doesn't allow certain types of content? Like, for example, if you open the HBO app and watch Game of Thrones, you will see all sorts of things that they can never put in a Game of Thrones game on the same app store. So it's just, and I'm not arguing for the type of content that should be in games, but more when you see, they'll say like, you can't build your business on the back of the app store and not expect to pay. And then you see an app like Uber, which I would argue has built a large portion of its business off of the App Store and does not give a single percentage to Apple. Obviously, it's not a game, but there are companies that use the App Store and don't pay. I can go on, and the reason I noticed this was earlier I was doing a Facebook ad, and I just realized, wait a minute, I'm doing this Facebook ad on my phone, and I just paid for it, and it wasn't an in-app purchase. I paid Facebook directly. It's a digital good. I'm not getting shipped anything.
Mm-hmm.
So I just made a digital payment to Facebook. Facebook kept the whole thing.
Which is the same as a skin or an emote.
But then there was the controversy with Facebook saying, hey, we want to do this thing for small businesses. We're going to not take any money from these small businesses. Apple, would you also agree to this so that we can just help small businesses during this whole COVID pandemic era? And Apple was like, no, we can't do that. So it just seems there's a lot of inconsistencies that are frustrating. But the big one for me, Game Pass. How do you say, and maybe they don't realize this, but how do you look at something which is very obviously a big part of the future of a huge industry and say, we're not going to be a part of that. We're not going to participate. We're not going to allow our users to be a part of this. I almost feel like it's akin to 10 years ago saying, we're not going to allow Netflix on our store. This is, obviously streaming video is going to be the future 10 years ago. We're not going to allow that on our store. Go elsewhere if you want to experience it. It just seems very short-sighted.
I got 2 words for you. Apple Arcade.
No,
Totally
I
different,
don't think
though.
because Apple
Totally different.
Apple allows Netflix competes directly with Apple's like back then that was their bread and butter was their iTunes downloads.
Right.
My understanding is that 2 things are going on. One is they're negotiating with Microsoft, and that's always fun. But also they just don't know how to treat that category yet. And Apple is a very slow. Like they measure things 800 times before cutting once because they're like, we're going to figure this out. We're going to look at every single repercussion, every ramification of this. We're going to get crucified in the press for 2 months. Then we're going to come up with like a magical thing saying, oh yeah, we're allowing game streaming. But man, will we have argued about it internally for 2 months first.
Okay, so Andrew was about to say there are 2 different things, but I don't know how they're different though. They're both game encryption services, even though one
I'll explain.
Okay.
Well, that is the main thing. So, and the reason I say this is just use this as an example. You are traveling somewhere. You're traveling, you're at the airport, you want to play a game. You open Apple Arcade, you see a new game, you have to download that full game. Hopefully you have either a good signal or good Wi-Fi in the airport, which is pretty rare, in order to download that. Let's say you want to play Halo. You do not have to download 80 gigabytes of Halo. It'll actually start right up, almost instantly. So right there, there's no, I don't see a direct competition between Game Pass and Apple Arcade. Secondly, you cannot subscribe unless I'm mistaken. When you subscribe to Game Pass, you're subscribing on an Xbox or you're subscribing in the browser.
Yeah, and an Xbox version of Arcade would be allowed. Like that would fit right into their rules. If Microsoft wanted to handle it like Arcade, it would be no problem because every app is separately downloaded. Every app goes through review. Even though that excuse is complete nonsense.
It's impossible though because there are games on Game Pass, several games on Game Pass that you could not download on a 64 gigabyte iPhone. You just couldn't. Some games are 80 gigs. Some games are over 100 gigs. So there's no way that you'd be able to play these games. Or if you have a couple-year-old 32 gig iPhone, no way, you're done. So streaming is the only way to do it. Streaming is the only way to play these kinds of games on devices with the storage sizes that Apple makes. It's either streaming or nothing.
So the thing that is going on here is that, again, it goes back to Apple Arcade. Yes, there are 2 different ways of playing games. One, you have to download the game. The other one is the cloud gaming streaming service. But I kind of feel like Apple sees it as direct competition because you can bypass paying them $5 a month for Apple Arcade and pay Microsoft the $15 a month for Xbox Game Pass, and that's money that's being taken out of Apple's pockets. At least that's how I feel like Apple might be looking at it, though.
So if you look at the math, though, that's guaranteed money for them. Yeah, it's the same as Spotify. It's guaranteed money because they would get they made deals with Microsoft for Office 365, and they get a percentage of all of that. It's basically free money for them. You subscribe to Xbox Game Pass, they have to do no work, and they get to collect millions of dollars.
No, but like Andrew said, if you are able to sign up for Game Pass on your Xbox or another platform, then Apple don't need any of that.
Well, they'd still make a deal. It's the same thing with 365. They have a deal where if you come in through them, they still get a cut of it. So like it would be not. I mean, it's not iPhone money, but it'd be free money for them. Like I really don't think they care about the competition. Usually when you talk about money for Apple, it's not money, it's control because control gives you more money later. It's not like the $2 today, it's the $2 million 2 years from now. And they just culturally don't understand gaming and streaming gaming. And they're going to go through a bunch of tedious meetings where someone puts up a chalkboard and says, this is how it works. And it streams. And the interactions are no different than pressing your remote control for Netflix to play or pause. And the bits and the stuff that's coming over the air is no different. and they'll be like, "But it's games." No, it's just a stream.
All right,
And then they'll get a sign off.
about Xbox or Game Pass. Okay, so I mean, theoretically, we were talking about xCloud, but I mean, at the heart of xCloud is Game Pass. So what Andrew was talking
it's
about,
Game Pass streaming. So xCloud is no longer xCloud was the project name. It's now Game Pass streaming. So as part of the Game Pass app, if you're a Game Pass Ultimate member, you can stream any games that you happen to own, as well as the Netflix library of games that they offer.
Yeah. So basically, it all comes under the Game Pass heading anyway. Either way, but yeah, I don't. It is kind of weird, like you say, Renee. That I mean, it will get Apple like the easy money, but I don't know. You know how Apple is. Apple is changing
and
about
it's different games. It's like the same people. It's not the same people. Like no one playing like the Sasquatch game on Apple Arcade is playing Halo. Well, maybe they are, but not at the same time. And people are still watching TV Plus and Disney. Like if they let Disney Plus on their like that's huge competition for them, and they're fine with it.
Yeah, every streaming app under the sun is on the App Store.
You can't really compare Disney Plus to Apple TV Plus because those are two different types of content, man.
But iTunes was their bread and butter for so long.
I would argue the same thing about Apple Arcade and Game Pass, though. Those are hard to compare. Apple Arcade versus the types of games.
You were absolutely right. You were absolutely right.
One thing I was wondering, maybe Renee might have some thoughts on this. The ebook thing. The argument was, if we sell a Kindle book through the App Store and you take 30%, we have to still pay the writer, the publisher, etc. And if you take 30 out, there's not enough to go around at that point. I'm curious how Game Pass, because all the games on Game Pass are not first-party Microsoft games. So there's third-party games on there that I'm assuming, I don't know how they break it up, maybe by the percentage of play, kind of like how Set App does things. Is that the problem? If Apple takes 30% of the $15, is there not enough left for Microsoft to profit as well as divvy out to all of the publishers participating?
That's the Spotify thing too, and they consider that unfair because Apple doesn't have to pay 30% on their subscription services, and I think that's part of it. But again, like they negotiate that stuff. Someone, I forget who, said that Apple is holding out for Microsoft to agree to license ARM Windows to the Apple Silicon Macs, and that's sort of like their bargaining point is, okay, you want Game Pass, we want to be able to run Windows for ARM and license it. So let's make a deal here, and they're both sort of playing that out because these are big companies. Like people get upset that like Amazon or like Amazon or Netflix have a sweetheart deal, but that's how big business works. Like the company that is like $1 billion company doesn't have the same deal as a $10 company. But Apple keeps saying we treat everyone the same, which is why people get angry. Just stop saying that because it's clearly not true. Like
absolutely.
No company works like that. Eddie Q is busy making deals and feels like we treat everyone the same. He's like, Eddie, stop that. And he's like, it's business. This is literally how business works.
Yeah. And I think that's it. I think Apple will just say, sometimes. I think there's some wordplay too with Tim Cook because he'll say, I don't know that he's, correct me if I'm wrong, said we treat them all the same, but I think he said something like they all go through the same process. And the process could just be step one. Are you a $1 billion company or not? If yes, go this way. If no, we have this other thing. And hey, they all went through the same process. This the very first step meant.
Well, they used to complain that if Facebook had a bug, it got cleared super fast. And you're like, yes, it's Facebook. There's 1 billion people using that, and a bug is really painful. So like, but that's to your point. It's just the categories are different. Like if you're categorized as a reader app, you get a much better deal than if you're not categorized as a reader app. And if you're a game, both Apple and Google want their 30%, no exceptions. And that's different than if you're like Netflix. And, whatever their reasons for that, you can't have you can say every app within a category is treated the same. Like every streaming service is treated the same. Well, or every game is treated the same. That's fine. But, people hear everything is the same. And then Epic is like, no, like Tim Epic gets like super angry and says, my game's not being treated the same as Netflix.
Yeah, that's the one thing that I can agree with everybody on is that regardless, I feel like Apple is in the right to run their platform how they see fit. If you're not going to enforce the rules across the entire platform, you are going to run into problems each and every time. Because if you're over here giving Amazon special privileges where they don't have to pay your app cut, but then you're charging Epic a 30% app cut for their game, you're going to have a problem. Like nobody's going to take that line down, man. You can't do that.
Hey, gentlemen,
just
I'm
be
gonna have to
clear.
bow out because I got to get dinner going. But pleasure talking to everybody again.
Enjoy it.
Yeah,
Are you
man.
making chili out of galaxy beans?
Nah. We had we're actually doing. I don't know if you guys have had them, but sopes. It's a Mexican dish. It's basically like a very thick tortilla. You put some beans on it. You could throw rice if you want, but it's usually some sort of like a braised meat. And then you do like cheese, lettuce, tomatoes. And we also do a you could do like a chile verde, but we're doing a tomatillo green sauce on it
So
too.
hungry now. It's like hearing Travis talk about getting wings. Damn it.
Yeah, dude. So we're doing it big, man. But Vibe, thanks for having me on. Andrew, once again, always a pleasure. And Renee,
Same here.
as always,
Same here.
man. Appreciate you guys, man.
Thanks, Jeff, man. Appreciate you.
Yeah, no worries, Vibe. Hey, everybody have a good night, man.
You too.
Night.
Travis wants to know how Andrew has gigabit 56K internet.
Yeah, I saw a tweet about getting that 10 gigabit internet.
10 gigabit. That's ridiculous. I mean, there's no need for that, right? But I feel like it would just be a cool video.
Did it have a good ending?
How can you even? I mean, I don't know. To a residential house, what?
That would be a good video. That'd be you'd be the only one making that video. That's for sure. You'd be the only one making that video. So Andrew, I'm curious your
unique.
Yeah, definitely. Andrew, before the end of 2020, do you plan on stepping into a movie theater?
A movie theater? I don't think so. I mean, I don't know. I don't think that's. I just don't feel safe. I don't feel safe about it.
Even Batman's not safe, man. Batman got the Rona.
Right.
That's right.
The Rock.
Okay.
Yeah, his whole family.
Yeah, whole family. Yeah. Crazy, man. I'm in agreement with you. I don't have any plans on stepping into a theater before the end of this year, man. I'm not doing it. I agree with you. And I think. But
I do wish that they did more of the at-home releases.
Yeah.
If you're willing to pay $20, $30, $50 to see a blockbuster, why would you?
Yep.
Why would you not allow it? Like what is the?
I'm gonna need them to release the new James Bond movie video on demand day one. I need that. Can we make that happen, please? Somebody make that happen. Because I'm not going to.
I'm waiting for Black Widow.
Right. As much as I want to see James Bond, I want to see it really bad. I've been waiting since April when it was originally supposed to come out, but they moved it back to November. So I've been waiting all year. But I'm not stepping into those movie theaters to go see James Bond. I'm not doing it. So they need to put that on video.
There's no form of entertainment that I'm willing to enjoy in exchange for the risk.
No. Well, you see the people going to concerts with like no mask and no distancing, and then it's like 300 of them got exposed. No kidding.
Yeah.
Yep.
And Andrew, the crazy thing to me is that nothing has changed as far as treating this virus, vaccine. None of that stuff has changed since March. But we're slowly trying to reopen the country and trying to act like things get better when in actuality, nothing has changed since March.
Yeah, I think people have just, the only thing that changed is time has passed. And so, it's been 6 months. We're good. Why? Nothing's changed.
Nothing.
And the worst part is that we all went on lockdown and they did nothing. Like they could have spent that time, getting everything into shape so that we could open up like the Europeans, or like Taiwan is basically back to normal. They had almost no cases. People are going out there enjoying their lives because they locked down and they did the testing, they did the isolation, they did everything a responsible government does. And the economy took barely a blip. They're all functioning. And we had like a bunch of people just standing around going, I don't know, okay, we'll lock down. And like the Quebec government, I keep ranting about them, but my godkid had to go back to school, and it was a day before school started, and nobody knew what day he had to go back. And they're still contacting, going, yeah, we're going to try to figure this out next. Like school has started. You had all summer to figure this out. You knew it was happening.
Crazy,
so frustrating.
Kind of ridiculous, man.
What's
my
up
third
with
rant
North America?
you got it.
Well, I know what's
We're
up with
so
the United
privileged
States.
and entitled.
I exactly know what's up with the United States. It's an election year, and people I think they're holding their card to the vest until this election, or after the election, I should say, which is kind of crazy. I think they're valuing the whole election thing over human lives, but I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole. I'll leave that alone. That's what it is.
Yes.
So, Andrew, our boy John Prosser said that Apple Watch, iPads are getting dropped in a press release next week. We got some other leaker called Love to Dream, or whoever he is, saying that no, there's no Apple Watch this month. What do you think?
And
Do you
Mako
think we're gonna
Takara said October too, but Mako
Right.
Takara are C tier at best.
exactly? So Andrew,
I love the
Right,
tier
right, right.
video. I love
body
the tier
record,
video.
body record. Right, Renee's right. He's right though. So Andrew, do you think we'll see a new Apple Watch next week on a website?
If I were a betting man, I would say yes.
I would too.
And I'm not a betting man, but
I'm not either.
if I were, I would say, here's what I would say. I would say it's expected. Yeah, it's expected. So, and I'm not just talking about John Prosser. It's expected in industries. So I think so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's weird. It is weird to drop a major product like that in a press release. So that's really the only thing that makes me really question.
Yeah, me too.
But see, here's the thing, though. I thought it was weird for them to drop the iPhone SE 2020 in a press release, but they did that.
That's not a major product. That's not a major.
How is that not a major? That's a new iPhone. Of course, it's major.
No. It's a redesign. It's basically a currently shipping phone in a different form factor. This is rumored. I don't know if it's true because it seems like Apple Watch is the one product that really has like a lot of rumors around it. But the rumor is there'll be a slightly different form factor to it, like thinner bezels at the very least. So this isn't a currently shipping watch in a different form factor, but same chip and everything else. So that's the one thing that makes me question it. But again, there seems to be an expectation out there that this is
Also,
happening.
the big difference is that they would have done a March event like that. They were planning to do a March event. We would have seen it at the March event, along with the some of the other stuff there. And they didn't want to wait to WWDC because that chip is aging out. Like the longer they waited, the less valuable that phone would be. Where they are having an October event, so it's just a question of what benefits the most from stage time. And I still think it's such a big holiday purchase that would benefit from the extra publicity that it would get being on camera because there's no stages anymore.
Yeah.
Yes. And if they're putting iPads into, they've never done an iPad/iPhone event that I can remember. So if they're doing that, maybe there's no room for the watch, and maybe the watch does need to be like, they can't take 3 hours of your time to just put everything in this one event. So maybe that's why. I don't know.
They had Jaws last year. Jaws did the 10.2-inch iPad nothing before the iPhone was announced in September.
But that's not a Pro. It's not a Pro.
No, and I don't think this is a Pro. I think this is going to be an Air.
Yeah, that's an entry level one. Yeah.
Well,
but,
yes. But I mean, in October, is there not going to be like a 5G Pro? I thought that was the rumor.
Oh, that was a rumor a long time ago, but we've heard nothing about that since.
But that feels like a slide, like when they added like it's like, oh, and now this comes with 5G. If it's got micro LED and it's got an A14X, then I think that's major. But if it's just 5G, then I think that's a slide.
And they also, if there's an October, they would also need to make room for, I assume, explaining Apple Silicon and the first computer that supports it, and that has to wow people. They can't do a big shift like that and have it be equal or a little tiny bit better than what Intel's doing. There has to be a big shift, and so that's going to take some time to explain and show off and promote as well. So it's going to be packed.
Yeah.
Can you imagine Tim walking out going, "Can you see it? I can't even see it. It's so thin. I can't even see it."
So, like I said, to further Andrew's point, that was the same thing I was telling Renee earlier. I think that Apple has so much hardware to unveil this fall that they're going to have to push something out like an Apple Watch, like an entry-level iPad. Those are going to have to be relegated to press release only because there's too much hardware that Apple needs to unveil in this event in October. And I think they can't really do two events because I don't know if they have enough time to do two events. So they're going to have to pack all of this into one event.
It's weird though, because last year's watch, as much as I love it, it was pretty much the same as the year before, with the exception of the display.
Yep.
on the inside, there wasn't much different about it. So I would feel like the Series 5 would have been the not that, you know, it's different times now, but Series 5 would have been the one to release as a press release, because there wasn't really much different, where this one is expected to, you know, to be different. So it's just different, new and interesting times where we're dropping major products. I mean, this is a major product in their lineup, and it's just, if it happens, hey, here's a press release.
Yeah. But they have more time
Weird.
too, because like the events without people there, when there's no audience and clapping and stuff, they can fit more in. Like Dub was a more efficient use of time when there was no people involved.
Yeah.
And that was weird. So many people were saying that's how it should just go going forward,
No.
because it was so. But what do you do then? Or do you just pack people? I don't know when they're going to pack people in anywhere. At what point that's going to happen again? But if they do,
Like,
do you just sit down at Steve Jobs Theater and just, like you're watching a movie, you just watch the presentation unfold that way? Because
like
it
it's
was
one of their
really good.
Pixar movie showings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're gonna watch a video, and then after that, we have a hands-on room for you.
I know it's going to be a while before we get back to any type of normal, but I really hope we don't get rid of like live in-person tech events. I hope we don't do that.
I doubt. I don't know. I mean, it's like a new. I don't know that we're going to go back to what it was.
Right.
And I don't know what's going to become. I don't know what's going to become either.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think we're going to go back to what was before the pandemic at all, but I just hope that whatever the new normal is going forward, that it doesn't completely eliminate in-person tech events.
Right.
So Ethnic is saying it's less contrived when people aren't instructed to applaud. So Apple's actually really smart about this. It's mostly not people who are instructed to applaud. What they do is they get the most excited Apple Store employees who don't follow the rumors, and they put them in there. So they love Apple. They love the products. They have no idea what's coming, and then they'll see something. You hear them in front of you. They're literally going, "Oh my God, they're finally doing that!" And they're like legitimately excited because they love the products, have no idea what the rumor is, and it's their real reaction, and it's always much more believable.
I believe
it's also not. It's very, very little, if at all, the media. A lot of people, when they watch, are like, why are the media clapping? They're not being, unbiased. But when I went, it's like, oh, everybody in the media section is typing on their computer.
Yes.
No one here is clapping. They're fervently trying to take pictures, videos, type. All the clapping and applauding is being done by the employees.
Yeah, and the first couple rows are VIP. So you got like Al Gore clapping his butt off, and then like 5 rows back, we're all typing.
You got to put the environmental slide up there.
I got to. So Renee, the Mandalorian is coming back on October 30th.
Yeah, man, can't wait. Got to get my Baby Yoda fix.
Yeah. Hey Andrew, what are you watching on the TV these days? Do you even watch TV?
Oh man. What are we watching on TV? Are you watching anything right now? This is like a question that anytime someone asks me, I feel like I'm on the spot and I can't answer at all. And then I'll go to the TV and realize, oh, I'm watching like 6 things. I just forgot.
He's watching Lucifer on the Tesla.
Nothing. I don't know. I thought we were watching. Yeah, I don't know. But
watching Lost.
No, that's old. We're not. I've been rewatching Lost. I think that might be my favorite show of all time.
Okay.
I don't know if you guys have seen that.
Did you hear the explanation? So one of the best things about what's going on now is a bunch of people have been sitting down and giving interviews and talking about stuff and doing reunions that they never did before. And they had Damon Lindelof talking about Lost, and he's like, all right, here's the answer. Here's why everyone's so confused by it. We wrote 3 seasons, and it was supposed to end. And then the network goes, what do you mean? Shows don't end. They go on forever. And they're like, no, we wrote like 3 seasons. And they're like, no, it's never going to end. And they're like, what are we going to do? We're not going to, and we had a 2-year contract. So we're like, okay, we're going to renew for 1 year, but that's it. And then the network goes, okay, we'll let you end the show. And they're like, oh, thank goodness. Yeah, we figure after 10 years, we'll just end the show. And they're like, what? We literally have not written, so they said the ending was the same. They always knew what the ending was going to be, but they had to come up with like 3 seasons of extra material on the spot that they never planned on delivering.
What's crazy about that too is back then, each season of Lost was like 20 to 24 episodes.
Yeah.
And now in 2020, a season of a show was like 8 to 10. So each season back then was equal to 2 or 3 seasons of TV today.
Yep.
Yep.
And
Which
they were
is
saying
crazy.
we did flashbacks, and the first time we do a flashback, it's cool. Second and third time, it's fine. Fourth flashback with the same character, even I don't want to watch that anymore. So we tried like the
Yes.
flash forwards, and they're like, but the network was like, just keep doing the shows, and we're like, stop. And he's really happy like with Leftovers and with Watchmen that he gets to do like 1 season if he wants to, or 3 seasons if he wants to.
To tie in tech into this topic, so I was running Gear Live as a weblog back then, and the first flash forward was spoiled for me because in it, Jack was using a Motorola Razr, and I was like, wait a minute, that phone, either this is the future or someone messed up, because that phone that he's using right now was not available prior to when they crashed on the island. And so it was the very first scene of that episode, and I was like, I think this is the future. I think somehow it's not flashback anymore. And by the end is when you saw. Hopefully, I'm not spoiling this for anybody. That was actually going forward because of a smartphone. That's how much of a tech nerd I am.
No, I've never seen the show. I don't really have any plans to watch it. So you're not spoiling anything for me anyway.
Okay, what about Lovecraft Country? I was just informed that's what I've been watching. Lovecraft Country on HBO. Have you seen that?
I have
No.
not. No.
Oh, you need. That is so good. I don't want to give anything away about it. It's new. It's only on episode 3. It's on HBO. But it's very interesting if you like sci-fi types of shows or like Stranger Things types of shows.
I gotta
Very
watch
good.
Doom Patrol season 2. I think that's what I'm gonna do next. Haven't seen season 2 yet.
Is that show good?
Yeah, it's really good. It's really quirky, crazy, cool. Like it's the Grant Morrison kind of Doom Patrol, but it's really good. Did we freeze Andrew?
Uh-oh.
What's happening?
Hello.
Okay,
There he is.
I'm back.
Harry, he's back. Hey, Andrew, did you ever watch the Boys on Amazon? And he's not back.
Gigabit 556K.
What's happening? Am I back?
Yes.
Back
Sort
but
of.
you're
Okay.
Choppy AF. Or at least your video choppy. Your audio is okay.
Okay.
All right. So I was asking you, have you ever watched The Boys on Amazon?
I have not.
Okay.
There's so much good TV across so many different services that I don't know, we're like in a renaissance period for TV right now. So many TV shows are so good, but it's hard to fit them all in.
Oh, God, yes. Oh, yeah. Especially being a creator. We Jesus.
Yep.
Ooh. But I still don't know what the hell you saw in Servant, though. That show, oh, my God. Oh, they got on my nerves.
What?
It got on my nerves. Like,
Why?
What was the show? What was the show? What was going on? What were they trying to accomplish? Like, I'm watching. I'm like, where's the plot line? What is happening here? What is the point of this? I don't know.
It's a mystery. It's a mystery show. That's the whole point.
Yes, but at some point, the mystery needs to be solved or explained. I don't know if they ever explained any of that.
I'm not ruining that show. I'm not spoiling that show. I think that was my favorite Apple TV Plus show.
What?
I think so.
Do you guys watch?
Go ahead.
So, do you guys watch a pitch meeting on the Screen Rant channel where the guy goes in to pitch different movies?
Nah.
No, I never heard of
Oh, yeah, it's so good. It's Ryan George. He plays both script writer guy and producer guy, and he pitches a story, and producer guy just cuts the whole and it's your favorite. He does like all the Star Wars movies you love, movies you hate. He points out like the flaws in all of them. It's brilliant. Like he does Game of Thrones, and he's like, she rides off on a horse. It's amazing. Then she comes walking back. He's like, what happened to the horse? Oh, we forgot the horse. Damn. I guess it's a forgettable horse. Or he's like, the key stopped working, so I couldn't finish Game of Thrones season 13. My whole keyboard fizzled out. I dropped coffee on it. I just couldn't write the season. I'm sorry. But he was doing this one recently. I forget what movie it is. Oh, it was Lord of the Rings. He's doing Lord of the Rings, Two Towers. He's like, we have a forest with Ents, and you hear a voice going, "Oh, a forest that talks." He's like, "Will you stop that, Shyamalan? Stop listening into my meetings." He's like, "I think I could do a movie about a forest that talks." I was, "No, it's a terrible idea for a movie." "Yeah, I'm writing that now." He's like, "Damn it, Shyamalan won't stop bugging this room."
What's the name of this channel?
So
again?
good. It's the Screen Rant channel. It's one of the series they do called Pitch Meeting. It's one of the best things on YouTube.
Oh, I got to go back to Andrew real quick because he just said that Thurman was the best show on Apple TV Plus. We got problems here, and you better drop off.
He ran.
You better drop off. Because there's no way in hell Thurman is the best show on Apple TV Plus. You need to stop playing, Andrew. Where did you come up with this stuff? Seriously.
There's a new show everyone's talking about that I'm totally blanking on the name, but I've got to watch. Larry, I forget the name.
Okay. Did you ever watch Defending Jacob, Renee?
No, I haven't gotten around to it yet. You said it was good though.
It was very good. But the best show on Apple TV Plus still is The Morning Show by far.
Yeah, that was so good.
Oh man, front to back, man. Front to back.
Yeah, especially the last 3 episodes were some of the best TV I've seen in years.
That finale was just
and the acting was so good. Yeah. I'm blank on the guy's name, but both the woman who played the victim and the guy who played like the Loki sort of evildoer producer who's just manipulating everything, so good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. The Morning Show was classic TV. Oh, how good.
Yeah. And people were so worried before it came on that, Apple's going to censor it. They weren't going to allow it on. And then Jennifer Aniston starts dropping F-bombs.
The first 5 minutes, game over. This is not our lovely, cuddly Apple.
And then Disney starts censoring shows.
You talking about Morning Show?
Yes. The best show on Apple TV.
Your favorite one? I don't know. I feel like...
what do you mean you don't know?
I really liked Defending Jacob.
Better than The Morning Show?
Yeah.
No.
I'm not saying I disliked The Morning Show, but
right.
I thought Defending Jacob had me looking forward to each consecutive episode more than The Morning Show did.
Wow. Now, Defending Jacob was damn good. That was my favorite, second favorite show, but The Morning Show, man. Whew.
And I believe the news was that Defending Jacob actually turned out to be the most watched show in the shortest amount of time. So that seemed to be like their breakout hit, going mainstream, I guess. I am curious what they're going to do with the whole, people are coming to the end of their free year and they haven't been able to produce new content during, the pandemic. I'm wondering how much content they've had banked and if they have enough content to keep, because they basically try to put out one or two new shows or movies each month. Do they have enough to keep doing that to get people to subscribe for $5, or will they have to do another free year, or will they have to do, will they have to switch the strategy to buying some sort of library as well?
I think Ted Lasso, that's the name. Sorry, that's the name everyone's talking about.
I think Apple, they are beginning to buy like third-party IP for Apple TV Plus. But I think, like you were just saying, Andrew, I think they're going to have to extend the year out to another free year for people that buy new iPhones, or just extend the free year out again because of COVID and how they weren't able to put out the content that they thought they would.
Yeah, you have to get value for that $5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give out another free year.
Because like Amazon Prime or Netflix, you could watch like The Old Guard, or you could watch The Boys, and then after that, there's like a ton of other stuff for you to watch. It's not like you're done.
But there was a rumor that Apple was looking at some sort of back catalog.
Yeah, and I think they already are starting to purchase some other shows. I think over from Britain and things like that. So they are starting to fill it out a little bit, I think. But yeah, I think like you said, they will be well advised to maybe give out another free year.
Yeah. The one thing
Baron
about
Burton is looking forward to the iPhone 12. Just had to note that for posterity.
Yes. The one other service that I do like is, I feel like, similar to HBO, if they put something out, you can at least know that it's going to be good. It may not be great, but it's usually good to very good. Whereas with Netflix, a lot of their stuff is hit or miss. Some stuff is great, some stuff is terrible. Apple hasn't seemed to have that problem yet.
Oh, it seems to me like Netflix has like a hit show on every month, though. Seems like it anyway.
Well, they have new shows like almost weekly. but they have
Yeah.
so many that some of them just aren't good, and some
Yeah.
of them
And
are.
they're spending so much.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
where Apple seems to be taking
Disney Plus has had less than I think Disney Plus was hit hard because they were banking on a lot of originals, like all the Marvel stuff, and it's not materializing because of all this. Like you're getting Mandalorian season 2, but we still haven't gotten Winter Soldier and Falcon. We still haven't gotten the Loki show. There's just a bunch of stuff that's piling up.
Okay, Renee, what is the Ted Lasso show about?
I don't know. I just keep hearing that it's fantastic. I have to try to watch it.
People are saying it's great.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm about to
Have
go
you guys
check-
watched Schitt's Creek?
I have not.
No, my mom loves it. I haven't watched it yet.
Yeah, I thought.
Isn't that
I watched
Canadian? Wait a
episode
minute.
1 and it was. I think so. I watched episode 1 a long time ago and was like, this is hilarious.
Yeah, it's Canadian. You're welcome.
So, Andrew, when do you think we will be comfortable going back out in large Mac gatherings again? That shake, he's like, no.
I don't even know what to say. Like, I feel like this is a life-changing, life-shifting thing. And there's going to be like, you're going to remember like pre and post COVID. Before COVID, we did things this way. After, we did things that way. And it never went back to before. I don't think it's going to go back to before. And I think it will be irresponsible for the people who manage big gatherings to do them the same way, to put people in harm's way. Although we are also seeing people on their own accord stuffing themselves into places, no masks, crowds, etc. But I don't know. Like, I think just taking Samsung or Apple, it would be very irresponsible, I think, for them to invite and pack people into a large space. Obviously now, but also maybe even a year from now. So I don't know. I don't know when, because even if a vaccine happens, it's not going to be effective until enough people take it. And a lot of people are scared to take a vaccine that's been rushed. So that's going to be an issue. But then also, actually, what was I going to just say? The responsibility to, I don't know if you want to call it pressure, but if Samsung or Apple invites you to an event and you are not comfortable going, I'm sure there are people who would feel conflicted, like, well, if I say no, will I be invited again? Do I have to say it? Do I have to put myself in harm's way? And I don't know that a company should put people in that sort of position either. So, and I think they're thinking that way. I think a lot of companies are thinking that way. Like, how do we, it's not just about gathering people together, but also what are the messages that we're sending if we do that? If we do something, how do we make sure we're not making people feel, a certain way? And I remember one person at Samsung saying they were talking about how even if it's a small gathering or small hands-on, like they've been doing small hands-on for the Note 20, and I think it was like one person at a time, or maybe everything was distance, but you have to like tell your people, hey, when people show up, do not offer a handshake. Like, do not make people feel like they need to, you offer your hand, they're going to feel pressured. Oh, I don't want to shake hands, but Samsung's offering me, I don't want to come across as rude. So now I'm going to do it even though I don't want to. So it's just things like that where you kind of have to think of everything, not just, are we gathering or not?
Right.
Like Marquez putting his hands in his pockets at the Ascension event.
That was great.
Well, he's smart. Like even at these events, like they can't risk. Like, depends on the company, but a lot of companies won't risk their executives or their people got work to do. They don't want to get sick.
Yep.
Yeah, you got to protect yourself, man. You got to protect yourself at all costs. No doubt, man. No doubt. So, Andrew, how's the big LG TV treating you, man? I thought that delivery, man, that was a massive delivery, bro. Woo!
They're still actually right here, all in their boxes. So,
you didn't even unbox them yet? Oh,
no.
man.
Well, the thing with me is like opening up the products is part of what I put in videos.
Oh, okay.
So a lot of times, like for example, since I just moved recently and I've been super busy, sometimes I'll get stuff and it's like I can't even start playing with it and getting acquainted with it because I don't have time to set my camera up first. So my Pixel 4a that I got before it was announced is still sealed. And the Note 20, when I got it, it sat here for like 8 days before I opened it because the unboxing portion goes into one of my first videos about these products. So I have people coming to wall mount 2 of these, 2 of the 3, and the third one is just going to be stand mounted. But I want to capture that part where I open the box and take it out and show how it gets, hung up and everything. So that's happening next week. So in the meantime, there's just these 3 gigantic boxes kind of taking up the dining room.
Yeah. As a person who is unboxing 65-inch one, let me let you in on a little warning. A lot of work, buddy. Just be ready.
Oh, I know. That's why I hire other people to take care of it. I am not I'm not a handyman. I'm not good with a tool, a screwdriver, anything. I cannot wall mount.
Oh, I don't.
I can barely put the feet on a TV by myself. So with products as thin as these, I don't trust myself to do anything.
Oh, yeah. It's so funny. So I remember I watched a YouTube video on how to attach the base. So after I watched a couple of YouTube videos on how to do that, when it got here, I unboxed it. I slid it to my bedroom, put it on the bed so I could put the stand on it. And then it's so like it's thin, but it's so wide that it's like impossible to like carry by myself. So I ended up having to slide it between the bedroom and the room I wanted it in, the guest room or whatever. So I had to slide the TV from one room to another on the ground. It was so crazy. I got it done. No, I got it done.
Yeah, I don't trust myself to, especially when it's like brand work. So
right.
I don't want to be like, hey, I broke one of these. Could you replace? Like, just not good. So I usually just hire someone else to do it, who knows what they're doing.
I don't blame you, but I am jealous of you because I tried to reach out to them to get them to send me that sound bar, but they told me they weren't sending the reunion this out for Q4. So you're lucky. I'm a little jelly. Yeah,
they messed up. I don't know. They should have.
They should have. Hey,
they should have.
Should have. So what you doing this weekend? You got any plans this weekend, man?
What am I doing this weekend? I have to ask my wife because I don't know what I'm doing. More unpacking. I don't know. More trying to set the house up. Right. Yeah. Not much. No specific plans.
Yeah, LeBaron, they sent him 3 TVs and a soundbar, man. They sent him a whole care package, LeBaron. They hooked him up.
Well, it was a whole negotiation. Like it's a paid brand deal.
Oh, well.
So 3 videos, and then of course there's the whole like, sometimes they think they're buying a review, and I'm like, well, if you send me something, I'll review it. If you send me something and we're talking about money, then I will not review it.
Yep.
But I will basically show what it does and basically give people a product overview about here's what this product is, here's what this product does.
Yeah.
And let them make their own decision if it's compelling enough that they want to purchase it. But I'm not gonna give like a thumbs up, thumbs down, and yeah.
For the up and coming creators that watch my content, Andrew, can you please repeat that about how you don't do pay-per-view?
Yeah, I just think, in my opinion, and this is from, when I came up in this industry, it was through writing and journalism. And so one of the things was always don't put your integrity on the line, even if, I mean, don't let people perceive your integrity to be a certain way. So even if someone were to pay you for a review and you fairly reviewed it, just the fact that you were paid could make some people see you or the product or who you are as dishonest or disingenuous or whatever, and you don't want that. So this is like long-term business planning. You don't want to take a short-term gain and then damage your long-term reputation. It's more important to make sure the long-term is good and take short-term hits to preserve the long-term. And so that's just one of the things. If someone wants to pay me to do something, I will do something to show the product, and I will do my best to, I'll show the product in its real light. So I'm not going to like overlook well, they paid me, so I'm going to overlook this. It's not a review, but I'm going to overlook the negatives. No, it's just, let me just tell you about this. Here's what it is. Here's what it does. Right. And there's really not a lot of opinion. It's usually just, here's what it does. And there might be some opinion that creeps in when it's something like, let's say, oh, I have my house set up with HomeKit, and so I think it's really cool that this TV has HomeKit built in. Like, I think that's cool, but that would kind of be the extent of opinion. It's really more just factual. Here's what this is. Here's what it does. Here's how it works. Here's some things it does that you may not know about, and that's pretty much it. So it's like an overview. It's almost like a video version of reading like the Amazon product page. Yep. So I'm kind of demonstrating it for you and just telling you about it, and then you make your own decision. So yeah, don't take money for reviews, because
it's so weird. Because like the old, like this has been in any media company, it's just not done. And if somebody offers you money for a review, you will never talk to them again, because at some point it will come out that they paid for reviews, and people will not know that you'd said no. Like it just taints everything. So like if you work at Vox or you work at like Future or Mobile Nations or something, it's like a sin, like to even like the ad people will once in a while bring it up and you're like, no. And even for a long time, you couldn't do showcases because it was considered tainted. Like there was absolute firewall between advertising and journalism. But like when you're a single person, you can't do that. Like you can't say left side of my brain is handling brand deals and right side is doing editorial content. So the line that we made, well, I don't know what they're still doing, but the industry in general, when they started doing sort of the advertorials, was like, I have a lot of things to look at. All you're paying for is to skip the queue. So I would look at it the way I'm looking at it anyway, but it would take me weeks to get to your product normally. And doing a deal means that I'll do it now instead of doing it in weeks, or if ever.
Yeah, right. And that makes sense.
But it doesn't give you any special treatment, because otherwise, like people, like you lose your credibility is worth more than any deal.
Yep. I've said it over and over and over again. The reason why these brands want to talk to us is because of our audience. So if you're disingenuous to your audience to align yourself with a brand, you are doing it the wrong way. Don't do that. Just don't do that. Not a good look, man. Not a good look. So Andrew, Apple device notwithstanding, what is the biggest non-Apple piece of tech that you're looking forward to for the rest of 2020?
What else is there? Besides Apple, like Apple kind of owns Q4. Usually it's Apple and the Pixel, which doesn't own anything. So not that the Pixel devices are bad, just they don't have a lot of attention on them. So Q4 is usually Apple's quarter. Like they, especially this year with the Apple Silicon Mac launching as well as the new phones and the new watch. Like if you take that away, if you take that away, it would definitely be the consoles, the Xbox and the PlayStation. And that actually might be the more important one, because console launches are once every 8 to 10 years. So this is a really, it's a really big deal versus something that comes along annually.
Absolutely. Now, do you have like a relationship with Microsoft where they're going to send you out a console, you think, or?
I think both of them will send me a review unit, Sony and Microsoft.
I keep forgetting you got a relationship with every damn brand in the free galaxy. I forgot about you.
I've been around a long time though. That's why. Like a lot of people wonder, like, how you get in with all these companies. Well, if you remember, I've been doing this for 16
Right.
years.
You know, I am so glad you said that because I was just talking to Renee about this earlier. Like Renee, when he came to YouTube like 2 years ago, he came to YouTube and he hit the ground running, but he had 10 years of journalism behind him, and that's why he kind of exploded on YouTube because he already had the credibility and the reputation to do that.
I mean, my first video was a first day HomePod review, which I took advantage of my background.
There you go. And then I had made a remark on Twitter last night about how it wasn't too long ago where I was a YouTube nobody, but now I can hit go live on the channel and have like 30 people watch me within 5 minutes. But that didn't happen overnight. That came from me putting in work for the past 3 years to get to that point. And you just said it yourself. You have a contact with all these brands in the tech space, but you've been doing it for almost 20 years. So there you go.
Yeah, and so if you can imagine, like the one thing about PR people is they switch companies so often. So someone who works, PR at, for one brand, 6 months to 8 months later, they're going to be somewhere else. And again, they're going to be somewhere else. And so it almost like exponentially increases your relationships with companies because the longer you're in the game, the more people you know, and the more companies they work with. So now you have contacts at all these places. It just takes time. Like if you look at Jacqueline, like I've been doing this since she was 1 year old. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like, she couldn't even walk yet. So I think sometimes people look at others and they just judge like the look of their video or their presentation, and well, my videos look better, or my editing is better, or whatever is better. Why does this other person have so much access, or whatever it might be? And it's just at the end of the day, it's just time put in. So
amen.
Everything's important, but like if you're down on yourself because you put in all this work and you think someone else is getting more out of it who isn't as good as you at something, like try to think about the whole picture and kind of evaluate that way.
Yeah. Like I always say, you got to embrace the grind, man. You got to embrace the grind. That's what it's all about.
Embrace the grind.
Embrace the grind, man. That's what it's all about. That's why he's Renee Ritchie, and that's why you're Andrew Edwards, and that's why I'm Viper. Embrace the grind, baby. What it is. What it is. Yeah. So I'm curious to get your thoughts, Andrew. What is Microsoft trying to do with the Duo exactly? Like, where are they going with this? Like, what is their end game?
I think it's in the name. Duo. It's basically two phones. I think that's it. Like, it's not. So I have this Fold over here, right?
Right.
Fold 2, which actually, just as an aside, is the first foldable device that I think is actually good. I haven't liked any of the other ones, and I haven't thought any of the other ones were worth the amount they were charging for them. I don't know if this one is, but it's certainly the first one that lives up to the promise of what these devices can do.
Okay.
What Microsoft is doing, I think, is trying to show what being able to true multitasking on two different windows can be like, two different displays can be like. I think that's it. So Duo, two screens. Imagine it as having two phones in one. So it's not about having one foldable display. It's about having two different experiences on one device. And I honestly think this is, so the one problem with this device, and actually every device out there from like the nerd community, is anytime someone announces anything, people compare it against what they consider to be the best thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't have this battery, it doesn't have this camera, it doesn't have this display. Almost like, if you really think about the argument that people are making, they're saying everything that any company releases needs to be equal to everything else. Like, there should be no difference in the market. Everything should be the same, which makes no sense. If you want to change things, you have to be different. So you can't say this product is different, but it should have all the same stuff as everything. Like, it doesn't make sense. So they're trying to do something different. And I think their target audience is business people. Like they are targeting business people. So if you're the average consumer who loves your Pixel 4, they're not targeting you. Like you're not the target audience. Like it's okay for a company to build something for a specific target audience. It doesn't mean it's going to flop, because if their target audience likes it, then it's a success.
Yep, you're right. Like everything is not built for all of the tech nerds. Everything's not built for the average consumer. Like you said, a company can build a product for a niche target audience and see how it goes. Definitely.
Right. As long as that niche target audience likes it, and as long as enough of them are purchased for it to be hopefully profitable in some way, then you're good. Now, obviously, for them to be profitable, I assume it's just hardware sales. But if you look at something like the Xbox or PlayStation, the way those get profitable is they sell their consoles at a loss, and they make it up in game sales and licensing.
Right.
So obviously they can't do that with this phone, because actually I can't pretend to know all the agreements, but I would assume that if someone has a Duo and buys something from the Play Store, that 30% still goes to Google in its entirety, and none of it goes to Microsoft. That's my assumption. Maybe that's not the case, but I'd be surprised if it wasn't. So Microsoft just has to be able to sell enough to make this, not even Gen 1. Gen 1 doesn't have to be profitable, but get the attention so that, by Gen 2 or 3, the people who they want to buy the product are looking forward to it and buying it.
Yeah, that very sound. Renee, we got a question for you.
Yes, sir.
Joseph wants to know, do you think LiDAR on the iPhone 12 Pro is going to be utilized for portrait mode photography without other functions?
Yeah, I think for sure. I think it's going to be used for everything from the fast focusing system to portrait mode, but I think it'll go way beyond that. Like I'm not saying it's the same thing, but if you look at what they're doing on The Mandalorian with virtual sets, like once you can understand the world around you, like it's not as dense as front facing the dot projector. It's more sparse, but it goes a lot further out. And once you can ingest the world around you, you can start doing all sorts of cool things with it. Like we're still in the early stages. We'll get to glasses with it eventually, but this is like the big project tech at Apple. Everything from cars to AR requires ingesting and understanding the physical world, and LiDAR is like one of the ways you unlock that. So I think we'll see, like I've heard rumors about Apple's AR camera for years. Like I know people who worked on it years ago, and they're still super excited. I can't wait to get like that thing fully operational, like a Death Star. I think that's going to be really cool to see.
What rumors? Just rumors that existed, or specific rumors about what it could do?
Yeah, well, just like the apps and the technology and what they were all working on. Like again, if you think about what they did with the True Depth camera, yes, it was Face ID, but it was also Memoji. And Memoji, people make fun of them, but it's a very smart way to get people comfortable with AR because they see themselves. It's like boiling a frog. It's like, this is non-threatening. I don't mind being in AR world because it's just me making funny faces. And then they get more and more comfortable with like directions in AR. And then, also like Google's doing that with the funny, like you can put, I forget, like different branded characters in the background of your photos. And all of that gets us ready for when they start putting layers on the back of our reality, which would be scary in and of itself, like for normal people, not for tech aficionados.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really hope that LiDAR scanner can improve the iPhone portrait mode because, man, iPhone portrait mode has been a little spotty lately, especially compared directly against the Pixel portrait mode. So hopefully that LiDAR scanner can move it out a little bit, clean it up a little bit.
Well, their depth data is way better, but their segmentation masking is way worse.
I was worried about the leaked photos where it indicated that the LiDAR was specifically for nighttime shots, and I forget, there was one other nighttime and one other thing where it was like, wait, so not daytime photography? Did you notice that?
Well, they should let you do both. They should let you do because there's not enough light to do portrait mode with the normal camera, so it could compensate for the lack of light and just make portrait mode available in the night. But like some people are also hoping for portrait video because I know Samsung tried it, but it was really janky. But if you can do like fake depth of field on video, that's one less thing you need a big camera for.
I just want to use a LiDAR for all photography where it makes sense. So obviously not like a landscape, but if there's people in the photo, use it. I would assume it would help.
Yeah. It should be really good. I don't think we'll see all of it the first year, but I think it'll be like when we got the 2 cameras. You know, it took like the iPhone 7 was cool, but then it got better and better. Portrait lighting and then the depth effect controls. And Apple does it all real time too, which still is a huge difference for me.
Mm-hmm.
That
maybe
you see
they'll
what
do
you shoot.
something where, what was it called with the sweater mode?
Oh yeah, a deep fusion.
Yeah,
that should all just go away. Like, I mean, like people shouldn't have to worry about that nonsense.
Right. But maybe there will be things also that arrive mid-year.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that camera team is great, but like we saw with the iPad Pro, like they didn't have time to make the camera app for the iPad Pro. So you press portrait mode and it spins around to a selfie and you're like, what? Why?
Right.
Yeah. Be interesting to see what's I remember that leak that John Proctor posted on Twitter said that the LiDAR will be used for like focus and some portrait mode type stuff. So hopefully that's what happens. So Andrew, I am curious, since you are a big techie and you're a tech nerd, where do you stand on the whole refresh rate thing? Are you really like one of those guys who need the 120 hertz display, or do you not care much? Where do you stand on this?
Display? No, I use an iPhone as my main device. And obviously I have other phones like the Galaxy Z Fold 2 with the 120 hertz adaptive, really nice. The iPad Pro, really nice. But it's not something that it's not a must-have for me. It's almost something that if I don't have it, I just forget it exists. So it's not something I'm missing. If I'm using my iPhone, I'm like, oh man, like the smoothness of the Pixel or my Samsung Note is so much better than this. I don't really feel that.
I'm like that with HDR. Like I love HDR. I would marry HDR if it was legal in my jurisdiction. But when I go back to like an iPhone 11 or like even when I was using the SE, I forgot about it. Then when I went back to the iPhone 11 Pro, I'm like, oh my God, I love HDR. But I'd forgotten about like I can only tell when they're side by side because the human brain is terrible and it adapts to everything. You can invert colors and your brain will adapt to it.
And I imagine also that it depends on the apps you use. I don't do a lot of mobile gaming. So, you know, I'm watching YouTube and I'm posting to Instagram and I'm, you know, all that kind of stuff. I'm reading, you know, RSS feeds. So the things that I'm doing probably aren't the things that would mostly benefit from a 120 hertz display. But if you're into gaming, maybe it would make more sense for you. But for me, you know, and I don't know, like, I don't even think, you know, there was the whole thing. Why is it getting so dark? With the iPhone XR and its resolution, which is also the same resolution as the 11, and how everyone was saying no one's going to buy this. The resolution is trash. And then, if you pick it up and just look at it, it is not trash. It looks fine. Like there's nothing about picking up an iPhone 11 that makes you look at the display and say, "Oh, this is trash." It's just not. So sometimes I think people just want the spec to have the spec. They want to check this box that makes it seem like this product is better, when in reality, it's not really something you're even noticing.
It's one of several characteristics that go into a top tiered. For me, like, and you know, team 24 frames per second. The reason I want it is that the same reason, like on this MacBook Pro, 6-inch MacBook Pro, you can switch to 48 hertz because, you know, if you're doing 24 frames per second video, like all good natured Hollywood and, you know, people do. So 120 hertz, they can frame quintuple and show us 24 frame per second video in the proper, with the proper way, no motion smoothing. So that to me is a killer feature. Don't tell the 30 frames per second crowd.
But you know, it's funny that you say that, Andrew, because that's my biggest like argument about a 120 hertz display. It doesn't fundamentally change the way I use my phone. Right. Yes, it's a nice feature to have if it's on there, but it's not a game-changing feature. It's not a make or break thing. If the phone has it, that's fine. But but people are like, oh my God, I can't have a device without a 120 hertz display. And I'm thinking to myself, you've been using 60 hertz display for years. Like, why is it now all of a sudden a problem? This is not a problem.
Right.
And there's so
Right.
many things like 10-bit color to the panel. Right now, most pipelines are 10-bit, but most displays are 8-bit. So you do temporal dithering to show you more colors than there really is. And like I'm sure someone will say, I need a real 10-bit panel, but I'm like, please tell me, like, please prove to me you can see the difference.
Seriously. So is Andy, did he buy a house or a cabin? What's going on?
We have a remote location.
Okay.
It's not that remote. It's maybe 15 minutes to like being in a city, but we needed space because my business requires quiet and my wife's business is very loud.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'll be trying to record a podcast or video, and then if it's a video, it's fine. It's just a lot of editing. But if I'm recording a podcast with a guest, and I've been, oh, sorry, just give me a minute. I'm sorry about this. Make a note to the editor, please remove this piece. So in our last house, we just kind of outgrew it. So we needed a place where I could have my area, she can have her soundproof area, and also have like a large amount of land. So that's what we have now.
Good.
Better for the business.
Of course, there has to be something that can allow you to get that high-speed fiber internet you got going on, right? Right.
That's true. Like when we were looking at homes, I would contact the companies that provide fiber and give them addresses. And that's how we would like eliminate homes from the ones we would put offers on, because if I couldn't get the speeds I needed, I just definitely was not going to live there.
Absolutely. I don't blame you, man. I don't blame you. The poet, interesting question here. Galaxy Z Fold 2, black or bronze? So I don't know if you listened to me, but when I went through the process of pre-ordering mine, I told this lady on the in the online chat conversation I wanted a black one. She ended up ordering a bronze one. I'm like, oh no. So I had to cancel my order and reorder it. So I got the black one, but black all the way. I don't know how Andrew and Renee feel, but I'm going black.
I personally, I don't really care unless I was getting the custom, what's it called? The bezel or the side thing. What's that side thing called?
What's that thing?
The hinge?
You can customize the color.
Oh,
of
the hinge. Yeah,
the hinge. The hinge. Those, I think those are cool if you're going to customize the hinge. But other than that, I don't care either way. Like I spend my time looking at the screen. You know what I mean? So
yep.
Anytime someone like complains about how a camera bump looks ugly or the camera array looks like, I'm just like, I spend the entire time using my phone looking at the front. So I don't really care what the back looks like. Unless there's an orange option. Then
yes.
Oh God, not you and this orange stuff.
I feel like bronze is the new rose gold, and then that makes it the only acceptable color.
Mm.
It's definitely pink. It definitely got that pink to it for sure.
Yeah, that pink color to it.
I still remember Andrew with his bright gold Hermes gold watch band. You got that. What is it, last year, the year before last? Man.
Yes.
Everyone was trying to blind people out there. You were literally trying to blind folk with that one.
if it's orange, I'm in. So
yeah, orange is the real deal.
And actually, for some reason, I don't know why. Maybe they've copyrighted that shade of orange, like Tiffany copyrighted that blue. But all of Apple's
T-Mobile magenta.
Right. All of Apple's first-party orange bands were never quite orange until this year's Vitamin C. So if you wanted a real orange band, you had to get a Hermes, or however it's pronounced. Renee, maybe you can say it properly, being from
Hermes.
Montreal.
Hermes.
Yes, you needed to get their sport band in order to get an actual orange hue.
Yeah, that's Hermes orange though. That's like their brand color orange. I don't know if they've copyrighted it or design marked it or whatever.
I would imagine
but
so.
That's their orange. All their boxes are like that.
Give me an orange Pro though. Can we
yes.
stop with all the dark color? Well, I guess they're not
I know.
dark, but the special color does it have to be so muted?
I'd take a product red Pro as well.
Yeah, I would take that too. I would take that too.
So hot.
The green is fine, but you can't even tell. You can't really tell.
It's Leica jungle green. It's such a Phil Schiller thing. Like, I mean, I love, like, he has such deep love for Leica, and that was like the famous Leica green from their Safari cameras.
But now the rumor is the dark navy, which is like just the blue version of the green.
Yep.
Let's brighten it up.
pros are too serious.
Yeah, like it's funny. Like every time the pro model come out, there's only like usually 3 colors, and they're usually like basic colors like black, gray, silver, white, whatever you want to keep. Like they never brighten up the pro models. Like never.
You can't even
That's
get the iPad Pro in gold. I asked, and they're like, it's too much gold. Like, there's no such thing.
It's too much gold. What about the MacBook Air?
Well, yeah, it's not pro enough. Like pros are too serious. We don't want Kim Kardashian to accidentally buy a MacBook Pro.
Not pro enough.
That's true. That's how they get you to buy the different colored cases.
Yeah. I apologize, Viper. I gotta head out.
No problem, man. Thank you for joining me tonight, Renee. Appreciate you.
No, thank you for letting me. I'm sorry my initial streaming experiment didn't work. I'm gonna keep working on that.
Like I thought, I think you just got to change that camera setting to 1080p when
Yeah.
you streaming out. But other than that, I think you should be all right, I guess.
Well, have a good one. I really appreciate it. Always
No
a
problem.
pleasure. Always a pleasure to see you too, Andrew.
You too.
Have a
All
good
right.
night.
Good night, man. Wow, we haven't done this in a while. Me and you.
Final 2.
I know too, man. Let's make you a little bigger there. Man, so I mean, you always stay busy, but you've definitely been busy with all the moving and stuff and trying to get your internet locked down and everything. So how long have you been in that
Yes.
house so far?
How long have we been here? July 1st? When did we move here? July 1st? July 1st.
Okay.
But it's not. So remember I said like the whole idea is to like have our own areas and business for our businesses. The basement had to be finished. So it was like an unfinished basement. So it's I think it just got finished like yesterday or something.
Still not totally done. He has to fix the door.
Oh, it's not even totally done. It's almost done. So we've been here 2 months and we're still not at that place yet, but almost there, maybe in the next week or two. So I have been kind of behind on stuff. Like I mentioned, the note, like everybody got the note early, and then, you know, I didn't even open mine until basically it was available in stores. So defeats the purpose. Well, actually, it's not out yet, is it? No, it is out now.
It's
It is
out. It's
now,
been out
but
for
it
2
just
weeks.
came out.
Been out for 2 weeks now, yeah.
Oh, okay, fine. So then, yeah, I opened it after I got it early and opened it after it was available in stores. So, but just because there's so much stuff, like the internet here was so bad. It was 5 megabits up. So imagine, a 4K video that's 5 or 6 gigs.
Yeah.
I go to upload it and it's like, all right, this will take 17 to 20 hours. What?
Damn.
So, there was a lot of that. A lot of the other thing I forgot was it was like, okay, like they'll be finishing the basement and I'll just do my work. I forgot finishing basements requires like hammering and pounding. And so things were too loud to do videos at some points. So it's just the process of getting settled in, but it's almost done. We're almost there.
One day at a time, right? One day at a time.
Yes.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't you pick up a Tesla Model Y?
Yes.
How's that treating you?
It's good. It's good. It's like a roomier version of the Model 3.
And you still have 2 Model 3s, right?
No. I only had 2 Model 3s for like a month or so.
Okay.
I got one, and then they announced the performance version after I bought it. And then I was like, well, that's the one I really wanted. And I didn't think they were going to release that for like another 2 years. So then I was like, okay, do I want to? That's the one I wanted anyway, so I'm just going to get that. And then I sold the first one.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. There's this weird myth online that I own like 6 Teslas, which is just not the case.
Well, when you post your pictures online, usually there's at least 2 Teslas in the picture, especially when you're outside. So that's your fault.
Every picture I do, there's 2 Teslas in there somewhere.
Right, it's all your own fault. I mean, we're talking about the same guy who posted that epic Saturday Night Tech Fight promo that you played with the 2 cars out there. That's your fault. You did all that.
That's true.
Yeah, you did that.
That was a good promo, though, right?
Oh, that was a damn good promo. Absolutely. That was epic, man. That was legendary. Definitely. So now you have a Model 3 and a Model Y, I'm guessing, right?
Yes.
Gotcha. What color Model Y do you have? I don't know. I don't know if I know the color.
Color is white.
White. Okay. I know you got the red Model 3.
Yes.
Gotcha. Cool. All right. Sweet, man. So I don't know if you all saw Jeremy Judekin's Twitter lately, but he posted a tweet of some dude like riding the highway in their Tesla with nobody in the driver's seat. I'm like, I'm pretty sure that's illegal. All types of illegal.
Oh, absolutely, it's illegal.
What? I wouldn't do that if I had a Tesla. That's craziness.
People were doing that when autopilot first came out, because nowadays with autopilot you have to like touch the steering wheel every like at least every 20 seconds or something like that. And when it first came out, you didn't have to do that. So that's their way of knowing that you're paying attention. And back then you could just turn it on, and then people would just climb into the back seat, pretend they're sleeping, just to get like people's reactions. But I don't know why people. You're obviously putting yourself and other people in danger.
Yep. I mean, I have heard too many stories about Tesla autopilot not working properly to be putting myself in that type of position. No, thank you.
If you're paying attention, it's fine. But pay attention. Yeah.
But even if you're paying attention, I wouldn't be not in the driver's seat, though. You know, I mean,
no, that's what I mean. Like paying.
You got to be in the driver's
seat. Yes.
So LeBaron got beef with you, Andrew. He said that he doesn't like AirPod Pro, and he brought him 3 times because of you. What's it about? Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, what do you think?
First of all, that's not even true. That's a false statement. They're not the worst.
I agree.
You've ever purchased. I don't know what his problem is with them, though. I'm curious.
Yeah, LB, what's your problem with them? I'll tell you what my problem with them is when I wear them, they move around a little bit, kind of annoy me. But other than that, they're good.
I don't have that issue. But
really?
No, I don't have the issue where they move around like that.
Oh, but it sounds like you have an issue. It sounds like you have an issue. So what's your issue?
No, I was going to say my issue with the original ones, non-pro, was that they would, after a while, hurt my ears. So like if I was on a flight, after, I don't know, an hour or two, my ears would kind of be in pain, but not with the pro.
Okay. But yeah, no matter what tips I put on them, I can never get them into a fit where they stay locked in. I mean, they don't fall out, but sometimes if I'm like eating or doing something else like that, or moving my head backwards, they'll move around a little bit, and it's kind of annoying.
Right.
Got me a little crazy. Do you have a pair of the Galaxy Buds Live?
Yes.
Or are they wrapped in a box somewhere that you
No. They are not in the box anymore, but I have not paired them to anything.
So have you worn them at all or anything? So
no, I've only used them as props in a video.
God, I hate you. I almost hate you, man. You got so much stuff that you haven't even have the stuff you got. You ain't even touched yet.
It's just settling in. I'm still settling in over here. Things will go back to normal.
I'm just messing with you. Oh, LeBaron said it was that promo that you did that cost him the body AirPods.
You bought them for me. You bought them for me because I won. I won that night. I won the Saturday Night Tech Fight season finale, like I said I would. Everybody doubted me. They thought I was scared. I showed up, I cleaned house, and I left.
Hey, that's the best part, man.
Got some pros for it.
Hey, that's the best part. Best part is showing up, man. The best part is showing up. So did they move in your jalopy of a refrigerator yet?
What?
You got that Family Hub thing, don't you, from Samsung?
No, that's yes, but that stayed in our last house.
Oh, what? You left it behind?
Well, we rent it out now, so it stayed for them because in this house we have these crazy European appliances that are supposed to be like I never knew about this brand before. But when people saw it in my pictures, they were like, "Oh, you're trying to flex on with your new appliances." I was like, "I didn't even know about this." And so we have this like weird. If you look at our fridge, you would think it was huge, but when you open it, it's shallow as hell. So you walk in, you're like, "Oh wow, you have this gigantic, super wide fridge," and you open it, it's like there's no room in here. What is the problem? Everything in this house is like. You know when things are like expensive, but also super finicky?
Yep.
Like you have to do things just so. Otherwise, it's like messed up. So like we don't use anything. Do we use anything? The coffee machine is like a big pain. The fridge is a pain. Now I'm complaining. Now it's not like I'm.
So I guess the question is, do you plan on bringing that hub over at some point, or are you just going to
No, because it's like the fridge is like custom fit into this. Can I turn this? Can I turn this around? Let me see. Okay.
What phone?
Nope. That's not.
If you're using an iPhone, no.
Oh, okay. I'm just walk by it and put it behind me.
There you go.
So the fridge is cut into this. You see this?
Oh,
so it's
okay.
like custom fit into there.
Gotcha. Okay.
So if you buy the family hub, you have to like take this out, and it's like not going to fit properly.
Right.
So my complaint was that none of the accessories are smart home enabled because I'm used to that.
Right.
Now it's just like fancy old stuff. Not
well, at least
old,
you could change
but
out
like,
the. At least you could change out the light.
I feel like it's less convenient.
less convenience. Yeah, less convenience.
Maybe less modern.
It's less modern. yeah, I don't know. You know, when you're used to like the family hub and like anything, like talk to Alexa or Siri and have it do stuff for you. now you go back in time. And mostly just because of what I do for work, like it's just cool to like put that stuff in videos and okay, let's do a smart kitchen tour and talk about, you know, if you want to have a smart home, here's what to get for your kitchen. Now I'm not able to do that because, you know,
You done spoiled your wife. You'd have had her in a built-up smart home. Now you'd have moved her into this other house with no smart home appliances.
she ain't even like the smart home stuff anyway. I don't know what she's talking about. She doesn't like to talk to any robot assistant.
You talk to us now.
Right after 5 years, she finally.
I feel like it's old people high end. Like young people that got high end would get the smart stuff.
Yes. So what she just said was she feels like what we have here is like high end if you're like an older person. Like if you're 50 and you were buying high end stuff, you'd buy this.
Right.
But if you were 30 and you wanted to buy something high end, you would have something different in mind. And you'd probably think about things that are internet connected and more convenient or cool. Maybe that's it. It's like none of this stuff is cool. It's nice.
Right. Yeah.
But it's just not cool and modern in that way.
Right. Like kind of outdated. Right.
Yeah. I'm not trying to complain. Like I appreciate what I have. I feel like I might be coming across like I don't appreciate things, but it's just different from what I'm used to.
It's a different lifestyle. It's like a completely different lifestyle that you live right now. I got you. I mean, the good thing is that a lot of this stuff you can probably swap out.
Yes. If we get a family hub, it'll go like in the garage or something.
Okay.
Because there's nowhere else to put it. You can't put a second fridge in here. But
right.
And we can't fit everything in the damn fridge. And then right here, by the way, see this?
Yeah.
We have to have a second fridge just for drinks because we can't fit our drinks in the fridge. We have like a mini fridge just for drinks. That's
this will make for a cool ass house tour video, man. At least kitchen tour.
Yes, I'm going to do a room by room video tour. So different rooms. So like one video on like smart kitchen, one video on setting up like your smart work from home area. So I'm going to do like a smart home series once everything is set up finally.
There you go, man. There you go. Listen, man. There you go. So I know it's the weekend. I know you got some unpacking things to do. So I'm going to let you go. And I'm going to end this live stream, man. But I appreciate your time, Joe. Thank you for joining me tonight.
Of course.
Like, man, I really had no idea where this live stream was going to go, but you and Renee and Jeff kind of backed me up. So I appreciate you guys, man. I appreciate you guys. Shout out to the 37 of y'all that are still hanging out. We've been out here for almost like 4 hours now. So thank you guys for rocking out. I appreciate you guys hanging in with me tonight. Thank you so much. Thank you to Andrew. If you super chat or anything like that, thank you guys for super chatting. I appreciate it. As most of you are aware, like I said, we are live streaming every day this month. We are in LIVEtember, baby. So I will be seeing you guys tomorrow. Probably going live tomorrow afternoon because I know Travis is going live in the morning. I think Tech Rant going live in the morning too. So I think the morning is locked up. So probably sometime tomorrow afternoon, I will be back live again. But until tomorrow afternoon, people, this your boy Viper, the man about tech. You know where to find me. So come back for more.